Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Wayfarers, the show that was nominated for 4 Grammys, 3 Golden Globes, and won 1 Oscar last week. We had a week off, and the week before that was a week off as well, but we're back now, and that's what counts. My name is Jimothy Stubblebubble. Below me on the screen is the Dungeon Master of the Goblin King himself, Apoptosis 808. And to his right, playing a wizard who's learned more than 2 spells, it is Exile 5 Pig playing Nigel. And above him, the most trustworthy of the whole lot and the moral compass of the team, it is Mendax, the Tiefling Rogue. Cobra Venom is on production, and I will now make space for Khal, the Kenku Barbarian. Last time, we met Alleluia Jackson, who showed them the way. Or did he? But then he vanished. What lies in store for the team this time? Find out right now.
Okay. Goddamn. It is good to be back. It has been 2 weeks since our last session. I hope you guys are doing well. I've missed you all, and I've had lots of time to think of devious and terrible ways to screw you guys over. So let's just get to it. How are you guys doing, though? COVID-19's out there. I hope everyone's staying healthy and safe.
Well, what a time to meet up over the internet and play some goddamn games.
Yes.
I feel bad for all the non-gamers and all those outside people who go out into that IRL game all the time, because I don't know. I'm kind of alright to be locked up in my house, to be honest. It's a good time.
Yeah, definitely a really good time to be constrained to your house. Okay, so let's just get right into it now that Call is with us. I see you with your very handsome bird face, Call. Welcome back.
The Kenku.
The Kenku people. All right, so last time you guys, I'll just do the quick recap like we always do. You set out from the town of Lakewood with a quest, if you will, to head to the kingdom of the dwarves, Tol Karabad, with missive in hand from Rongal Rockmelter to speak to a legendary person or thing. It's kind of a little mysterious, who knows, named the Rock Eater, that can hopefully help you identify some of this mysterious aura that you have and shed some light on these rings that are adhered to your hands. On the way there, you had some fun adventures with some spiders in the forest, with some screeching overhead plaguing you during the night, and as well as meeting some colorful characters such as Alleluia Jackson, one of my so far now favorite characters I've ever played. So that has been a ton of fun. And then after him, you guys ran into an upturned caravan that was bloodied and battered and destroyed, with only one survivor, a goblin merchant who has since hired you on a bit of a side quest to transport him to the nearest town called Inderith safely, as he was attacked by a griffin. Did I miss anything? I don't think I missed anything. I think I got it all. It's almost like I wrote this stuff.
You forgot all the blood. There was lots of blood.
Yeah, tons of blood. Ground was just absolutely soaked. And the bodies of the horses and the guards that the goblin used to have were kind of down in the crevice of like a little cavern. So not a fun time to be a guard. But you guys have nobly stepped up for the, I believe the set price was 6 gold a box to transport not only the goblin, but also his however many wares of his that you can hold to the next town. So how many boxes were you guys holding? Was it 2 each?
I was holding 2, one strapped to my back and then one in my arms.
And I, being the most ferocious bird ever, did 3.
Okay.
I think I just grabbed 1. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you were just strapping it to your back or something like that. Was that what you were doing?
Yeah, just a single one strapped to the back.
Like a backpack kind of deal. Okay, cool. Sounds good. So let's go ahead. We'll start up there. We'll just say you guys have been walking now for a bit. You've been able to adjust the boxes and kind of get them all comfortable as much as you can. Neuro, your strength is a what? You're a 16 strength. You should be able to manage those boxes without much issue. They're just kind of bulky and big, so they're not necessarily the easiest to carry, but it's not a matter of strength, really. So you guys are fine. Or is there anything that you want to do on your road to the town over? The goblin says it's about a 2-day, about a day walk. So yeah, it's about midday now, so you'll get there. You could, if you make a good amount of effort, you could possibly make it there by the night. Or, you can take it slower. Well, how do you guys want to approach this? You're guarding this goblin. He has hired you to keep him safe. How would you like to do that?
I miss having a roof overhead, so I'm happy to push through and try to get back to a town.
I second
Okay.
that motion. I don't want to be back. I want to be outside when the griffin comes back.
Yes, sounds good.
I'll be honest and say this is a good workout and I'm enjoying it.
Okay, so Neuro doesn't mind necessarily lugging around the boxes. Good to stretch the old legs again after walking around a town for so long. But the rest of the party, Goblin included, want to make haste to the town. So you guys, let's see. Pig, roll me a d20. Your d20 rolls were the most interesting last week. Can you give me just a straight d20? We'll see if anything exciting happens on your road to Indrith.
15.
15. Nah, the road is pretty uneventful at this point. You're all taking sort of extra precautions, keeping an extra vigilant eye out now that you know what that screeching was in the night. It was the howling and wailing of a griffin. Let's see. Give me a nature check, Nigel and Call. Give me a nature check. What do you know about griffins? Let's find out.
Well, speaking as a bird person, I rolled a 4.
I rolled
Okay.
a 17, and I have +3, so 20. I've read a lot about birds.
All
right.
4 plus 4 is 8, which is still not great.
Okay, so yeah, Nigel has definitely a bit more knowledge on griffins than you do, Call. While there are a wide variety of types of griffins in the world, you know that for the most part, they all have similar habits, for the most part. They're territorial. They don't often attack people on roads, populated roads, towns, things like that. They kind of shy away from towns and busy populous areas. But again, very territorial and will descend on people in a brutal fashion. To get killed by a griffin, it's not a pleasant death. Usually it's either getting shredded by their sharp talons or being picked up into the air and dropped onto the ground, which will 99% of the time do the trick. Yeah, so it is a little bit of an oddity, Nigel, to you, and it sticks out that why is this griffin attacking random caravans on the road? It does stick
Certainly
out.
didn't need a change of clothes.
Right. No, he did not. The fine silks that are inside the boxes he has no interest in. Besides that, no, your road for the rest of the day is shockingly uneventful. If you guys want to talk to the goblin at all, you can. If you guys want to just kind of trudge along, that's fine too. Anything you'd like to say or ask or talk about before we head over to the town?
Even a single box is enough to occupy my mind and my mouth. I'm just going to walk.
Okay. Neuro Mendax.
Mr. Goblin, sir, I had a question for you.
What?
Do you know of any purveyors of potions, elixirs, or draughts in the town of Indrith up ahead?
No, I'm not from that town. I just stopped by.
Oh. Well, what town are you from?
and he'll kind of scratch his head, some grease and like oil kind of accumulating underneath his black fingernail.
Ooh.
In your tongue, yeah, Nazdaka or Dulamak.
Nostaka Bordulamak. Oh, I've been there. It's a gorgeous town, isn't it? As far as goblin standards go.
I mean, not really. It's pretty much a shithole.
Well,
I mean, but if that's your thing.
speaking
Whatever.
as a Kenku, we are less likely to be hassled in, to quote you, a shithole. I had a very good time there. No one bothered me at all. It was as though I was a normal person, not some weird bird who they were hesitant to talk to. It was a very warm experience for me. It's good to be walking with you. I'm honored.
He'll nod his head. He'll nod his head and just
Okay.
he's not super interested in talking about where he's from or really what he does even. He kind of just wants to get away. You can tell he's still pretty shaken, actually. He did just watch his kind of whole caravan and his guards get murdered in front of him in probably a very bad way. So yeah, he's still, you see him kind of darting looks into the sky and jumping at the wind, really just whistling in the air, but maybe he's mistaking it for the griffin, who knows. He's a little spooked. He's not having a fun time, but he does want to get to Indrith as fast as possible.
Maybe he's concerned talking to a bird after just seeing his friends killed by birds. I could understand.
Maybe. Could be. Yeah, could be.
I will catch the drift and quit hassling him about small talk.
Okay. All right. Well, if nobody has really anything else to talk about or they want to ask him, that's totally fine. You'll get more opportunities to do that later on too, so don't feel like you've necessarily missed your chance. We'll say that the rest of the road is pretty clear sailing. You trudge on for the rest of the day. You're not doing breakneck speed as if you're being pursued by something, but you're also not doing a sluggish pace. So you make it to the town of Indrith, and it is just now nightfall. So it is a lot cooler. The sort of Badlands, deserty air and heat from the sun is quickly replaced by a cool, almost cold breeze that is flowing through the entire Badlands. It's shocking how different the temperature is. It's much colder, probably made worse by the fact that you're all sweating and pretty exhausted by carrying these boxes to the town. But yeah, you guys make it there. Let me see. I think I might have a map of the town specifically. I don't know if I do. I might not, actually. Let me look. Do we have a town map? Nope, no town map, just the area map, which is fine. There's, spoiler alert, there's not too many interesting things happening in Indrith. So there is the area map that we can throw up there, and that will work just fine.
And this was
but yeah.
west of the road, right? That we went.
Yes, it was to the west, kind of nestled between some mountain peaks that you can see there, some giant kind of stalactite pillars. Yeah, it's a striking area. It sort of just emerges after one of the bends. It's like, oh, there's a fucking town right there for whatever reason. Sure, sounds fine. It doesn't really have any signs or posts or markers. The ground itself doesn't look extremely traveled, so it doesn't really look like there's much business in this town. Lakewood, as a comparison, the ground was super worn with not only shoe prints but lots of caravans and horses, and there were signs up that kind of let you know roughly how far it was until the town. Indrith, completely different. It is just smack dab in the middle of this random area. So yeah, you guys approach the town. It's dark, but there are some torches that are lit. They're kind of just staked into the ground. There's a bit of a fence that goes around the town. Nothing like Lakewood's. Lakewood had a natural sort of river barrier and some high stakes and wall posts. Indrith, as a comparison, just basically to keep away small animals, rodents, things like that, to kind of keep them out of the town as best as possible. There's nobody at the entrance, quote unquote, to the town, or what you make out as the entrance. And in fact, you notice that many of the buildings are dark, except for one particularly big building in the back of the town has light. And as you guys approach, you do hear some commotion, some hustle and bustle, some shouting even from that building.
Is it a heated town meeting, I hear? What is this? I know nothing of this place.
Nor do I. I don't know why this place to be getting such wonderful fabrics either. But perhaps one of us should drop their box and then go and perhaps go take a peek.
Well, Nigel's has
Sure.
one box. He could drop his. I have 3. It would be rather inconvenient.
Yes, perhaps Nigel should drop his box.
Oh my god.
Don't understand. Is box a euphemism for something?
I'm an adult,
Well,
an adult wizard, and I can maintain my composure in the most vexing of times. I will not be distracted. I'll place my box on the ground. Kraz, where are we taking these boxes to anyway, since we're escorting you to this destination?
yeah, that's a great question. He'll say,
Take me to the inn and drop my boxes with the innkeeper. There.
and he'll actually point at the building that has the lights on.
All right, let's head in.
Okay.
Yeah, so you guys head over to the inn. As you approach and get closer, it does start to get a bit louder, more rowdy. It doesn't sound like it's a fight, but there's definitely some raised voices, a shout here or there, but you can't really make out what it is. The goblin will stop you before you guys enter the door, and he'll kind of look around, like over his shoulder and behind his back, and he'll pull a pouch of gold out of his boot, and he'll count out carefully the coins to each of you, counting how many boxes each of you carried and pay you the appropriate amount. So for each box you carried, you can get 6 gold, which I believe was haggled up by Nigel. So well done. You got yourself a bit of change.
7 gold, I believe, good sir.
Oh shit, was it 7?
Definitely 100% 7.
Don't try and cheat us.
Fuck,
Any
I
good
don't
box is worth at least 7 coins.
remember. You can have 7 coins per box. I don't remember. I don't remember how much it was. I know 7 was a number, but I thought I haggled you down to 6. Damn it! I need to go rewatch the episode now and see
My
if I got
brain is like
cheated.
an endless ledger, and I have notes to everything. I remember it all. There's definitely 7.
Absolutely.
Always
7 gold.
trust a wizard. He's never done anything wrong.
He's never done anything wrong in his whole life. All right,
Nice, nice.
7 gold pop. So that's 7 for Nigel, 14 for Mendax, and 21 for Call. That's as much as going and killing a bunch of bandits and saving a blacksmith you got there, Call.
What do you think about we just carry boxes around? It pays pretty well.
Actually, it's a gold more than you got paid to do that.
It's almost the worth of one fucking boat. One little thing.
Yep, almost.
Just about.
We could get into shipping, purchase a boat, and then carry boxes around on the boat. I don't know why we do all this senseless violence when we could just ship things on a boat.
Makes no sense. Okay, you guys head into the inn, and indeed, there is a town meeting being called. Well guessed, Nero. There are chairs and tables that are all pulled sort of to the center, and about I would say around 40 people of various ages, sizes, and races sitting or standing on tables. Right now, there is a man in the center who is sort of trying to quiet people down. On the right side of the inn, there is an elf who is sort of has her arms crossed and points over to this gnome that's on the other side every now and again. They almost seem to be the leaders, if you will, of the two sides of the inn, with this poor human in the middle that's just caught up in everything. The elf or the gnome, as you guys walk in, sort of mid-sentence, he'll go,
And we need to get something done about this goddamn griffin. He's been plaguing the town for weeks.
the druid, the elf, rather, who is quote-unquote a druid, maybe you can tell by all the leaves and flowers that are in her hair and sort of a mossy coat that she wears. She'll raise her voice, but she's certainly not yelling like the gnome is, and she'll say, "No, my good friend, you don't need to take care of the griffin. He's a peaceful sort. I promise, he means no harm. He's being disturbed." And it kind of goes back and forth like that for a little bit. Anything you guys want to do?
Good people of this town meeting. My name is Carl the Kinku, and I have heard that you are disputing the danger level of a griffin. We have just come from the scene of a disaster which has befallen this poor goblin merchant. We had to carry boxes all this way because the people were murdered. And I just heard you say that the griffin is being disturbed. I would ask of you by what or by whom?
The gnome will sort of like point at Carl, like, "See, this is what I mean." And the elf will introduce herself as Nevilla, and she'll say, "Well, not 2 days ago, we heard a disturbing report and sent out a party to check it out. What was happening with this griffin is for the past 2 months or so, what has normally been a peaceful coexistence between our town and the griffin, who normally keeps to his mountain, has been shockingly interrupted as of late, as he's been just attacking and destroying and killing at random. So we sent out some people to go investigate, but unfortunately only one man returned, Carl. Maybe he could tell you a bit better what happened. Carl, can you come out?" And the town, the people will kind of get hushed and quiet, and a man from the back of the room, who's been sitting by himself away from everybody, not really talking to anybody, will sort of shuffle his way to the center of the room, sort of just kind of holding his arm, very defensive. He's shivering in a way, but not like he's very cold. He looks shook up. He's got black bags under his eyes, messy black and kind of dirty brown hair. Looks like he hasn't shaved in a few days either. He looks rough. He doesn't look very well. He would definitely be dragging a cigarette if those existed, or Carl. And he'll go, yeah. What do you want to know? And she'll say, "Well, just start from the beginning, Carl. What happened?" And she'll put a comforting hand on his back, urging him to move forward. And he'll go, "Well, for 4 days ago, I left the town, as you all know, with the others, to Thomas, Reddard, and Shmi. And well, we made our way to the mountain, and well, it's not just some fucking griffin over there. Let me tell you, there's I don't know what it was really. There's a bunch of spiders everywhere. They were everywhere, coming out of the cracks of the ground, and and he'll like kind of start hyperventilating, and his eyes will get really wide, and he's freaking out, man. And Navilla will kind of shush him and calm him down and rub his shoulders a little bit. It's okay, Carl. It's okay. You're back here with us. Nothing can hurt you now. Keep going if you can. And he'll go, oh yeah, okay. Well, we got closer, right? Because we wanted to see what was happening exactly and what these things were doing. But I guess they knew we were coming, or they saw us. I don't know, but shit, they got the others. They drug him in the cave. I was only able to escape because, well, you all know I'm the fastest runner in the town, and a coward. And he'll kind of start crying and sobbing. I don't know if they're still alive or if they're dead or what, but God, I'm so sorry, Tommen.
So,
Yeah.
if what you're saying is correct, these spiders may have perturbed that bird. And maybe the bird is trying to kill anything that jumps out of the ground because the spiders do?
He'll go, listen, man, I don't know, but when I was running, I heard that awful screech, that terrible howl that she makes whenever he dives down, and he was attacking them. I certainly don't think he's a fan of them. Ugh. Oh, God, I think I'm going to be sick to screams. I'm going to go sit down.
Carl, it's okay. I would like to put my arm around Carl and lead him to the bar. Carl, why don't you buy me a drink and tell me more about these spiders?
He'll kind of just like nod
It's okay. We'll get you out of this. We'll get you out of the group. It'll be fine.
and walk with you. And yeah, he'll sit down at the bar, and he'll actually just go around the back, and he'll grab something like how nice of a drink does he grab? Let's see. What does old shaken up Carl seem to think is appropriate for this situation?
Watch your shoes, Carl, and your pants.
Shh. Mind your business, Carl.
Carl or
He
Carl?
grabs a jug of milk and he sets it down on the counter for you guys to drink.
Thank you, Carl. By the way, my name is Carl. I don't know if you caught that.
Oh, okay.
I would like to...
So real quick, yeah, Mendax and Carl are like over now, away from the group. They're quite a bit away on the side. So,
Yes.
yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I think Nigel and I could maybe discuss with this druid the local flora and fauna of the region. Are spiders native to these lands? Was this unprecedented? Does this happen sometimes?
She'll look pensive, as if she's been thinking ever since Carl mentioned that there were spiders there. And she'll start kind of mumbling to herself in a way. Spiders. No, friend. Spiders are not native to this area. I'm afraid to say I have no clue what they're doing here, but I've never heard of a spider that descended or ascended through the cracks in the ground. Cracks in the ground, cracks in the ground. And she'll kind of just keep thinking to herself, start a couple of sentences. No, that's not right. What about, no. No, I'm afraid without seeing them, really, I won't be able to tell you really what they're doing here. I can't even guarantee you then I'll be able to know. And the gnome on the other side will sort of stomp up angrily.
No. Who cares about spiders? I don't care about spiders. Kill this griffin. He's plaguing our town. The spiders only bothered us because we ran all the way down there and fucked with them. You look pretty strong.
And he'll point at, and he'll kind of poke you, Carl.
Go kill that griffin for the town. Save us, friend.
And he'll like look back at the crowd and motion them, and they'll like start, yeah, save us, mighty bird person, yeah.
Never fought a griffin before. I can't fly. How am I supposed to get it? Where does it live?
And he'll say,
at the top of the mountain where the spiders were. At the very peak.
And he'll point in a direction. It's further down the road that you guys were traveling to the south towards Tol Karaban.
And so it's about half a day, maybe 3/4 of a day. Even I've been there before. But at the very tippy top of the mountain, that's where the griffin makes its nest. Used to be such a attraction to watch that bird fly around the mountain. Until it freaked out and started killing people. Bad for business, if you ask me.
And the Navilla will interrupt. No, we don't need to kill the griffin. I'm telling you. If we can just take care of those spiders, the griffin will leave everyone alone. He's an innocent creature. There's no need to murder him. And they'll start arguing again.
No, kill the griffin.
No, the spiders are the problem. Please, listen to reason.
Griffins or spiders? The room seems divided in this. Are there any suggestions for how you would go about hunting a griffin or a group of spiders? Because we just came from a journey and there were a bunch of spiders and we were trying to pluck at their threads and get them to come out, but they didn't come out. So if they just stay in the ground, we go walk over there, we get nothing done. How do you lure out a spider and kill it?
We just bring Carl.
No, I'm always with you.
Do you say that out loud?
Yes, I do.
No way, man. No, I'm not going back there. I'm never going back there again. No, I'm not going to do it. And he's going to jump up off of the
drink
table.
Your milk. Drink your milk.
No, I'm not going back. The screams.
I don't
And I'd
think
just
he'd
like
be
to-
much use in combat.
Pat him on his head. I'm not looking to bring him the. I'm going to cover his ears. I'm not looking to bring him for fighting. It's called bait. And then I take my hands off. Good
Yeah,
boy, Carl.
he'll be kind of sobbing and snot dribbling out of his nose and into his milk as he drinks the cup. Yeah, he's a pitiful wreck. You're not sure if your plan is to try to bring him along. I will say it looks like you would have to probably knock him out and bring him by force. There's probably no way you're going to convince him to come along willingly.
I
Fair
walk over to Carl.
Yeah.
Carl, how many hours have passed since they were grabbed by the spiders?
He'll say 3 days. 3 days. I came back 3 days ago.
All right, not exactly the answer I was hoping for. Never mind.
But they might still be alive, right? I don't know.
Spiders have been known to hold their victims in cocoons and slowly leech them over days.
Oh,
but
Nigel.
It
Maybe
might take us a long time to get there, and it really depends how strong their life force is, and as they get drained, it depends how hungry the spiders are, and it depends,
Oh,
of course,
God.
how strong they are. And I'd have to
Trained
calculate-
in days.
Nigel.
Oh.
Sorry. Yes, Nundax?
I'm sure your friends are all fine. They're just totally fine.
Damn it, I'm so sorry.
I suppose we. There's always a chance. Yes, for sure.
Carl, I understand you've been through a lot. I know. Many people around you didn't survive, and you may be carrying some guilt and some fear and some worry. Life is hard, and you've been bearing the brunt of this harder than much of the other people in the town who are just bickering, but they have not seen the beasts which crawl from the earth. But you have. But today is a fresh day, and you have a life ahead of you, Carl. Believe in yourself. Do not be too afraid, just the right amount of afraid. You're safe in the inn now. You can stop drooling on the table.
Roll a persuasion with advantage.
15. Do I have a plus? That's a 16 is the first one.
Okay.
And a 15, so a 16.
16 and a 16. Yeah, you don't instantly kind of snap him out of his stupor that he's in and his sort of panic, but he kind of some life returns to his eyes, and he kind of clears away all the snot that's on his face onto his nice, or his not his nice clothes, but his clothes. And he kind of nods along with you, and for the first time since you've seen him, Carl looks a little hopeful. Yeah, maybe things will go back like normal. You gotta save him, mister. You gotta save Tommen.
So what are we, 3 wanderers who are gonna randomly show up and you expect us to solve the problem? Is there a team here? What's the administration? Is there a sheriff or some leadership in this town?
And the man that was standing in the middle at first, kind of still trying to calm down the crowd, which has gone back to arguing and bickering and yelling back and forth between each other. You get the sense he's probably the closest thing this town has to a quote-unquote leader. It's not as big or sophisticated of a town as Lakewood is, like I mentioned before. There's not necessarily a direct need for there to be a mayor or even a sheriff. They probably just take care of things themselves. As far as a team goes, you feel like represented in this tavern is the entirety of the town's populace. Like I said, there are kids, there are babies, in fact, old people, very old, kind of decrepit people here as well. So yeah, this is not a town that makes their living by fighting. You're the closest thing to fighters that's in this room right now.
Well, I feel kind of strong now. Well, very well.
I mean, strength 16, pretty good, dude.
Yeah, it is. It feels pretty good. So we've just been weary of traveling for a very long time. I think the 3 of us would be willing to be dispatched on some sort of mission, but are we the deciders? Are we the swing vote in this conversation? I see these people over here say spider, spider, spiders, and these people over here, they say griffin, griffin, griffin. You're gonna throw your lot with 3 random travelers.
Are you asking someone in particular or the room? Or...
I'm kind of focused on the leader person in the center, but projecting loud enough that everyone can hear me.
The leader, who is sort of he's not fat, but he's not skinny either.
I think it's called thick.
He's thick, maybe a 2 C's, maybe 2.5. He's got hairy arms, a bald head, and a black mustache. He looks like he's probably in his 50s, a bit older. He'll now, God damn it, let me speak, please. For God's sakes, everyone, just be quiet for a moment. And he'll mess with his face, kind of wipe it off with a rag that he keeps in his pocket, and he'll tweak his mustache really strangely. I mean, it's kind of pointed at the end. He looks like a classic cartoon villain now, and he'll say, "Well, we're really not in any sort of position to be asking you any favors, but I'd be beside myself to say that we sure could use the help right now. It's not every day the gods just hand you 3 able-bodied adventurers ready to go and save your town from undue peril. But I won't look a gift horse in the mouth. If you guys want to take on this, I mean, I don't know about paying you necessarily, but we'd sure be grateful for it."
And we would be very happy, of course, to seek out many fierce beasts and monsters all around the world and to create happiness and world peace, and also perhaps create some rainbows and clouds. But we do work up a large appetite when we're fighting these creatures and solving these problems. And not to mention, of course, my bird friend here has a very strong thirst that will get only stronger after some fights. And perhaps there were some elixirs or potions that you might have that might whet his appetite.
My wizard.
Looking out for the group. I like it. Well, I mean, some potions. Do we have any potions we can offer these guys? No. Yeah, but I'll see what I can do about some potions for y'all, of course, and of course your room, board, stay, food, all of that on the on the house, of course. This is my inn after all, and I would be remiss to send you 3 noble heroes out on the road without somewhere to stay and rest your head for the night. And upon this kind of talk, the gnome. He'll shove his way past the big human and kind of demand the floor.
If you go kill that griffin, I'll take his feathers and make you the best arrows you've ever seen in your life. I am, you see, a woodworker. I mend the tables, I fix the homes, but I am also quite a fletcher. Bring me those feathers, and I will fashion you arrows the likes of which you've never seen. And the goblin, who's kind of been standing in the corner, he'll get off of the boxes that he's been sitting on, and he'll go, You know what? I like you 3. You go kill that griffin, that son of a bitch who destroyed my business, my very life, and I'll give you each 15 gold.
So you've got 2 rewards offered on the side of the griffin to go kill the griffin and bring it back, the feathers at least. The elf, seeing that she's being quickly kind of overturned in, like, ante, if you will step up. Well, I mean, I have some potions, and if you bring me back poison from the brood mother of that cave, I'll fashion you a poison from it that you can use. What do you say?
To drink a poison? That sounds dangerous.
No. You're what? Mercenaries, cutthroats, bandits?
I'm a Kenku, thank you.
I don't really care. But it seems like you 3 wrestle with some unsavory fellows as well. Depending on the potency of this poison, you might be able to use it for some lethal advantage.
Okay. Can we have a little 3-way huddle to discuss off in the corner?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to move it.
Are you gonna have
People, give us some space. Back up.
No, Carl's still crying.
Okay.
We have a strategy meeting. Shh. Get away. Get away.
I shove the milk jug down to the end of the bar, and hopefully Carl just cries and crawls his way after it.
Go
get it, Carl. Go on.
Oh.
Go
Yeah.
get it.
Okay. Yeah.
One step at a time. There you are. You've got it, Carl.
I can do it.
You can. Absolutely. Get that milk jug, Carl.
Carl.
Yes, you are. Okay. So, I don't know what you all are thinking, but personally, I'm thinking that Griffin killed a shit ton of people. And I would much rather kill spiders who, although they don't wear pants, if they did, would have an exponentially larger amount of pants for me to steal than one singular Griffin.
Because they have 8 legs?
8 legs, which is either one 8-legged pair of pants, but I think based on shape, we're looking at 4 2-paired pants per spider if they wore pants, which is only theoretical.
What was in that milk?
Not enough.
Oh my god.
So first of all, it's been a very confusing evening. It's been tough to tell when people are talking to Carl or when they're talking to me. Anyways, my opinion is this Griffin, as was the report by this rude druid who talked down to us as though we were bandits and scum, and at the same time asking for our help, she was saying that the Griffin has been a good bird over the history of the town, but now it is being a bad bird, but something has happened to make it a bad bird. So if we cut to the source of the bad of the bird, then the bird will become a good bird again. And then I will get some poisons that I can use that are some kind of potion or some such.
Yes. It will no longer be a perturbed bird.
Indeed.
It could just be a misunderstood bird. If they lived in peace with this bird for so long.
First of all, I'm misunderstood all the time, so I can relate with this bird.
Yes, I mean, and we know that you are a very good bird. This griffin could be a very good bird then.
Yes.
I'm on team kill the fucking spiders and take the spider pants if they exist.
Nigel,
I think
what are
both
you
make
on?
good arguments, but I suggest we simply propose to these townsfolk that we solve their problem, and how we do it is up to us. Now, whether we return with the poison from the brood mother or whether we return with the griffin feathers, we'll see what's easiest. And I think you both make good arguments. A gigantic beaked bastard just killed an entire caravan of guards, and we may be working better as a team, but I don't want to get pecked to death. I also don't know how the hell we're going to get up the top of a mountain through what sounds like a very spider-infested region. So I suggest we keep our eyes open.
I have a
Maybe we
question
can
for
kill
Nigel.
2 birds with 1 stone.
Oh no.
Can you talk to
Oh,
griffins?
Nigel.
Can you talk to griffins?
I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this one, but hey, Pop.
No, you cannot. You can't
high
talk
enough,
to
high
Drake.
enough nature doesn't let me speak. Okay.
But what if I let out a very convincing caw?
He has heard the screams. You could say at least 2 words that you may not know the meaning of in Griffin.
Oh, yes. But what if the griffin was, say, flying about and saying, fuck all of you, and then I said that up to the bird, then that would only work to our disadvantage.
I mean, quite possibly. Unless you're yelling it at spiders. We know that the bird does not like spiders.
Oh. So you're saying we should team up with the griffin to fight the spiders?
If possible. Although I think what Nigel is saying makes the most sense. We tell the villagers we solve the problem. And then when we come back, we potentially can get all of the rewards. Because if we destroy the spiders and we make the griffin happy, we could get griffin feathers without using magic to pluck them, because we've seen how that works before. We could come back with the griffin feathers, with the spider bits, and get lots of rewards and not have to kill the griffin. But there's no way there's no way we're getting out of this without killing the spiders. You can't even get to the griffin without the spiders. So
That's some fucking logic.
All right.
So you're saying that we should rest up tonight and then go tomorrow?
absolutely, because apparently there'll be no drinking in this town because everyone in the inn drinks milk.
Oh no, there's like a full complement of alcohol in the back of the bar. You just grab the milk.
Okay, we're going to have to do some work in this room before we leave the inn. I'm just saying, both of you, I expect a drink. And I don't want to pay for it. I just got gold.
What? You got paid so you don't want to buy things?
That's exactly how that works.
Tieflings have the strangest customs. Usually in the Kenku way, this is a long-standing tradition. Once you have money, that's when you make purchases.
I don't want to seem rude, but I would very much appreciate you not to shit on my culture.
I'm just saying I don't understand it. That's all.
Well, how can you have money if you spend money?
Well, you earn it.
Yes, but then if you spend it, you don't have it.
And then you have to earn more. It's an ongoing cycle. That's why we have to continue to work.
You
And
should
we are not on
always
some-
earn more, but you should spend less.
Are you trying to give me life coaching now?
It's financial
Absolutely.
advising, dude.
Who has more gold at present? How much gold do you have?
I'm sorry. Are you a tiefling in a racist world? I don't think so.
I asked how much gold you have. Nothing I said was racist.
No, I have less gold because I'm a tiefling in a racist world where they accuse me of purposefully sinking boats.
I mean, that was true.
That's not a number. Do you know
neither
numbers?
of my teammates know that, DM.
Oh, my bad.
That was for the viewers.
Oh boy.
Well, it's a little
right.
bit odd for me to be lectured about my gold when I have the most on the team, but I understand where you're coming from, and I believe now we could perhaps get some rest.
Fair enough.
So the town is kind of all looking at you guys, giving you your distance as you got on their case about being too close, but they're watching you. They're not eavesdropping, but they're just waiting for your answer,
So,
essentially.
Carl, you can tell them that we'll solve their problem, but we'll do it our way. And
Yes,
yeah.
no promises on which one will be killing, just the problem will be solved.
Good people of this town, people of the inn, I understand you're very stressed out. We are tired. We will rest for the night. Thank you very much for the accommodations. And tomorrow, we will do our very best to bring peace to this good desolate valley, whatever the place is called, Inderith. We'll do our best tomorrow.
The innkeeper, as you know him now, the mustachioed man, will go, okay. So, any chance, a little bit more specifics on that? What does that mean?
Oh my goodness. So you're going to ask for our help and then question the way in which we give it?
So here's how we work. Here's how we work.
So rude.
Whenever situations develop, sometimes you need to read the information that is available, because we've been getting conflicting pieces of information from this town about what's going on and what we should focus on. So we are going to go with a fresh perspective, see what's up. Maybe we come back with feathers. Maybe we come back with poison. Maybe we come back with both. You see? But in either case, we are after your peace and safety. We could just kill everything we see. Would that make you happy?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
I do appreciate it. I think that will be just fine. Now,
How about
you
you let
heard
the
the
experts
nice
handle it?
word, person, everybody. Go on home, get back to your hovels, get back to your houses. You can't stay here. We got to attend to some matters. Everyone, go on now. They're gonna take care of it tomorrow. That's what they said. That's what they promised. Taking care of it tomorrow.
Any chance of a nightcap?
He'll pour you a drink of some sort, unless you have a specific thing that you want.
Nope. I'm pretty open, so long as it's not goddamn milk.
I see. Something to help you sleep at night. I understand.
Absolutely. It's been a long day. You understand.
Yeah, he'll walk.
I don't have a problem. I just, sleep.
Okay. Yep. Sure. Whatever. And he'll pour you a drink. The elf will walk up to you though. Called Navilla, and she'll go. Before you leave in the morning, regardless of what you decide, come see me first. I think I have something that can help, and hopefully sway your opinion. And then she'll do a nice little bow, and we'll head on out. Everyone's still kind of up in a tiff about.
No, Griffin, this.
No, Spider, this. I'm Carl. I'm sad. But they'll leave one by one. Slowly, the inn kind of pours out, and you guys are alone. The mustachioed innkeeper will kind of just bumble about, putting things away, readjusting the chairs and tables,
And getting us drinks, right?
Yeah. He'll get you drinks
and some hot food.
We are
Of
quite
course.
hungry.
Yep. He will give you guys free room and board, food, drinks on the house, no problem.
Carl, I think that druid might be into you.
Happens all the time. After I had that hot elf ghost babe experience, it's just one after the other. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's my broad shoulders. My beak is very long. I don't know. But if she's going to help us, she's going to help us, and it might help us.
Whatever. I mean, we'll take the help any way we can get, but I'm just saying. Well done. You could do far worse.
Thank you. Very good. So shall we get some rest now so we can pop up in the morning and kick some ass?
Absolutely. We've had our food and drink now.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
I'm down for spider hunting.
Absolutely. Let's get some rest.
All right. He shows you to your rooms. You each get your own. Congratulations. And yeah, it's moderately comfy bed. Certainly nicer than you guys have been sleeping and living for the past week. If you want to clean up, there is a wash basin in each of your rooms. Blah, blah, blah. But yeah, you guys are quite a bit more comfortable. You've been sleeping on the ground and rocks and roots and earth for the past week and a half, actually, I think. So most welcome change.
Only note, I will very vigorously scrub off the area of my hand where Kraz shook my hand after spitting in it. And there was a thick, cheesy kind of resin left on my hand after that, I believe, from his goblin saliva. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go a little bit kind of Macbeth, spot. Spot. This thing is disgusting. And my
You're
hands
getting
are a
rid of
little
the...
bit, the skin's red and raw I'm like, get that shit off me. It's disgusting.
Oh, man. Goblins not sought after adhesive, let me tell you.
I would like to cleanse myself and then use the remaining water to wash off the pants that I've acquired. Just keep them clean. I'll hang them out to dry.
Okay, so the pants you stole from Hallelujah Jackson?
Yes,
Or
my Jackson pants. I only have his pants, but 2 his shoes, and then one other person's pair of shoes. So,
My God.
but I threw one of those shoes at a wolf. So I have 3 shoes plus the 2 shoes that I'm wearing, and an extra pair of pants.
Okay, noted. I hope that's all represented in your inventory.
My inventory is filled with rocks and pieces of paper, and yours is filled with other people's items of clothing. Okay, this is...
If they wanted them, they should have held on.
You make fun of her now, but when you lose your shoes and she has a spare pair, you won't be laughing.
Exactly. I gave you the pants to wipe your hands off with at one point, Nigel. Okay, so I have to wash the pants now. You're welcome.
Thank you.
That is true. I forgot about that. Poor pantless Hallelujah Jackson, dude. Out there somewhere. Neuro, anything in particular you're going to do before Call heads to sleep?
Yes, I would like to admire the fire-breathing potion and the sharpened halberd. Just maybe checking it, make sure it's still intact and good and looking fine. And then I would like to rustle my feathers a little bit, maybe do a couple stretches, and then I will rest.
Yeah, absolutely. The halberd still razor sharp. Sometimes when you move it and it catches the light on this perfect angle, you almost see like a blue flash that comes off of it that you've never seen before. And yeah, the fire potion that you crafted with the alchemist in the previous town, it sort of is in constant flux and motion. It swirls around. It's not fire that's contained in the bottle, but it certainly seems that the liquid is aggressive, almost has a life of its own. And yeah, you ruffle feathers. Can do. And head to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. It is the morning. You all slept the best you've slept in a very long time. Undisturbed. You had no dreams, no nightmares, nothing of the sort. You are surprisingly well rested come the morning. What would you like to do?
Feels good to be an adventurer sometimes. This is a nice accommodation. Am I in the same room as them?
No, you're all
I would
in
hope
separate.
not.
I will just
We
say
could
this
say
aloud
them.
to myself then.
Okay.
I would like to jump kick out of bed.
Roll an athletics check.
Okay. And athletics. It's going to be a 15.
Okay, yeah, you're still a little sleepy waking up, but you managed to pull off a jump kick. It's not the fanciest one you've ever done, but hey, it's pretty good.
The kinku.
Yeah.
Good.
Nice. Anyone else want to get out of bed in a flourish that could possibly end up in you tripping?
I would just like to reach for the cup, the jug next to my bed that I brought up from the nightcap. and see if it still has any remaining beverage in it.
Yeah, there is a sip or two at the bottom that a floating cockroach has been enjoying for the night.
Okay, then I toss out the cockroach and I finish the drink.
Absolutely. Some hair of the dog, if you will. Yeah, it hits you pretty hard. It's some stout stuff, but nothing that Mendax can't handle.
Right.
Nigel, I
Nice
assume you get
smell.
out of bed like a normal person.
Yes. Some of us simply have to study our spells for the day and, rise and shine. And
Yes. Make
yeah.
sure you have prepared the spells that you would like with the knowledge that you may be going into combat today. So make sure that you have the appropriate ones prepped. Your spell slots are also reset, so you have all your spell slots for the day.
What is a wizard's spell preparation like anyway?
Do you go to yourself, firebolt, 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 but then a firebolt, firebolt, firebolt? Is it like that?
I mean, a firebolt is basically second nature to me now, but if I want to do something more complicated, I must memorize the runes, practice my swish and flick, make sure it is Leviosa, not Leviosa. All the normal.
When did you get
changes
that
and
wand?
changes.
That's a nice
Carrying
wand.
it the whole time. It is quite nice, isn't it?
Is it mahogany? What kind of wood is that?
I believe it's 9 inches of oak, I believe.
That's oak wand. That's a very nice
Very-
wand.
9
Very
inches, very good for you, Nigel.
Very
No,
fun
for
stuff.
God's sakes.
I don't know why you're laughing.
Nope, no reason.
But you can cast some potent
That's a
spells
very,
with that.
very sturdy wand.
Well, it's important that they're well made, otherwise they could break. And then you can't use spells. Well, have we gathered up again? Everyone's leapt
Sure.
out of bed, prepared their spells, made sure their wand is good.
Take us to this druid that was hitting on you, Carl.
Oh yes, that's a good point.
Yeah. So after Nigel prepares I think you get 5 spells that you can prepare, not including cantrips. You guys make your way to the druid, the elf. As you leave the tavern, the inn, if you will, the village is kind of slow to rise. It doesn't seem like there's anything super urgent for these people to do in the morning. But the inhabitants of the town that are kind of walking to and fro give you guys a wide space that try not to cross paths with you. It's not that they're afraid of you necessarily, but they're just trying not to get in your way, as they understand they're kind of working off of your good moralistic intentions. But yeah, we'll say you asked for directions from the innkeeper before you left, and he pointed you in the right direction. She lives on the outskirts of the town. There is minor, it's not really trees, they're more really small shrubs that are planted around her house. Nothing too fancy. It looks like they're kind of wilting, but staying alive as best as they can in such a desolate wasteland. And she's sitting out in front of her house meditating.
Hello, wise lady druid. Not to disturb your meditation, but I did want to say that those are very nice shrubberies you have around your home.
It's a good line. That's a very good line. Keep going with that.
Thank you.
Oh my god. She'll open her eyes. Yes. Call, welcome. And I'm sorry, I did not get your 2 names. And she'll kind of look at Mendax and Nigel.
I mean, we don't really matter. I'm Mendax, just a friend of Carl. Friend. Don't worry about me. Mendax. I don't even matter.
Okay. Nice to meet you.
And I'm Nigel. Have I told you about the many times Carl saved our life over the many weeks adventuring together? He's the bravest warrior I've ever met.
Oh my god, and so strong. So strong.
That's very nice. Please come in. I have a matter to discuss with you all. Are you feeling okay?
Me? I'm feeling great. I slept fantastic. That was the most comfortable bed I've slept in recent memory.
Good. I'm glad. Yes, right this way. And she'll lead you into her house. All three of you, if you all three will go. Who is going into this house?
We'll all go in, but I'd like to try to work it so that Carl walks in behind her.
Yeah, sure. Call is leading into the house right just behind Navilla. Sure. Yeah. So you all head in, and there are various charms and sort of knickknacks placed all around the house, carved into the shapes of different animals. There are different potted plants that are all doing a lot better than the shrubs that are planted outside. Some dried herbs. There's some dried meats that are being hung over the fireplace. It's fairly cozy in here, despite what the outside looked like. It doesn't look... The outside was quite rickety and shabby. The inside, though it's not necessarily robust and fancy, it has a really cozy, warm vibe. Yeah, so she'll walk over to one of the cabinets, and she'll rifle through it, and she'll pull out a leather-bound case, and she'll put it on the table, and we'll open up the lid. And inside, there are what you recognize instantly, Call. There are 4 healing potions.
Ooh.
And then there are 3 vials of a dark green liquid. And she goes, "These are for you 3. I do hope that you use them in service of nature and destroy the spiders while leaving the griffin alive. Quite a peaceful beast, if I may make the case one more time. Simply territorial, misunderstood, and misguided. But I'm sure you are familiar how to use these red vials. Do you have any idea what the green ones are?"
No, I do not, and I was hoping you could explain it to us.
Yeah, she'll pick one up and kind of swirl it around and hold it in the light. It's like a chalky green liquid. It's pretty gross looking, actually. And she'll go, "This is derived from the venom of spiders. Very, very, very rarely have we ever seen a spider around these parts, but whenever we do, I do make sure to get an ample sample of their venom. And this is what I derived, and enough for 3. Should you find yourself poisoned, bitten, the like, drink one of these, you'll be right as rain. But use them sparingly."
How would you describe the taste?
Unpleasant.
Well, that's just your opinion.
Yes, that's true.
I thank you very much for this anti-venom. And what of those health potions? Were you just showing them off, or were you going to give us some?
I was going to give them all to you.
Oh, that's very generous of you.
In the service of nature, all must come secondary.
That's right. Sometimes you just have to let nature take its course.
God damn it!
This is a nice druid. I think we should hunt the spiders. And now we have some anti-spider. No one gave us any anti-griffin venom. Anti-griffin? What do you use again?
Yep, them. You know that griffins aren't poisonous, but if you want to still talk about anti-griffin venom, that's fine.
No, I wasn't. I was thinking aloud.
Oh, okay.
Simply saying that half of the town was in favor of the spider hunting and the other half in the griffin hunting, but now we have a tool to fight the spiders.
Exactly. Much more safe.
Well, good.
And,
You must forgive them. They mean well. They're just frightened. And I don't blame them for wanting to kill such a noble creature. I only wish that you were able to stop the spiders in time before it's too late for the griffin.
And if by chance we also find ourselves under assault from the griffin, do you know any way of escaping its wrath or distracting it so we can escape?
Ooh, that's a great question, Nigel. Let's see. She'll think for a moment, and she'll go, well, griffins are carnivorous, but despite their appearances, they don't often like to work for their food. If you find yourself in danger from the griffin, I don't know. Maybe throw a bundle of raw meat to the side. It'll find the easier prey much more appealing.
Perhaps spider meat would do. Maybe we should go hit up the butcher's shop before we leave then.
The butcher's stock spider meat?
Well, I
But-
mean, we can grab spider meat on the way, but it might be a bit dicier.
Well,
so
if you
perhaps we should
noticed
just
when
get
we
some-
came in, there are some nice dried meats just hanging here. Might we trouble you for one of these?
The dried meats?
Or is that not
Just
good?
saying. Of course you can. But I do think griffins prefer their prey more or less raw.
Oh, me too. I
But
understand
she'll,
that.
regardless, she'll unbundle some dried
We will
meat
take
off
the
the
jerky,
ceiling.
absolutely.
Yep, she'll give it to you. Here you go. My own creation. I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, she's a very good cook.
Yes. And giving me potions. We're off to a great
Sure.
start.
Such an excellent quality. I'm sorry, just very impressive.
Indeed. So,
Well-
if we face the griffin, we can throw some meats out to the side, and the griffin will have the meats instead of us.
Hopefully.
And if we see the spiders, we can throw the meats. Oh no, we can fight the spiders, and after they bite us, we can have the anti-venom.
Yes, but I do advise just not getting bitten.
That's good advice.
Well, most of the time.
God damn it.
Oh. Please excuse Mendax. She's
Well,
from a
if
different
you're a
culture.
vampire, then people want. Never mind, whatever. Biting is sometimes, a matter of unlife or death.
What? Do you mean to draw venom out of a wound?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, yes.
100%. That's exactly where I was going because I made that much sense.
Please excuse Mendax. She had as much as she could to drink last night.
And some this morning.
Not to worry. I'm not offended.
Oh, very
And
good.
she'll,
Very
Well-
open-minded of you.
I don't want to get in your way for too much longer. When do you think you all will be leaving?
I believe we are ready now. I'm feeling quite chipper and optimistic about this whole thing.
And then, she'll say, well, then I wish you luck. And she'll kind of usher you out the door. And she'll say, I hope to see you again very soon. And she'll put her hand on your shoulder, Mendax, and wink at you and shut the door.
Wait. Who did she give the potions to?
That call has them.
Okay, never mind. Damn, Carl, you were supposed to leave one still in the house. You had a reason to go back in.
What? We have to go back after we complete the quest anyway.
What? You know what? Never mind. I was going to say something, but now I have to go, so we might have to mark this as NSFW already. I'm going to stop. It's fine. No, not going to say it. Let's go to the butcher's.
Okay.
They do say that the Kenku's wings don't work, and in this case, it seems their wingmen don't work either.
The wingmen are working very hard. It's not my fault. One of the wingmen was trying. Look how smart I am. Look at my 9-inch wand.
I didn't show it to her. I was showing you earlier in the tavern, and I think you were both quite impressed with my 9-inch wand. It's made of oak, it stands quite straight, and it makes good magics.
Oh, for God's sakes. All right, you guys head to the meat store.
We delivered box. We've shown each other our wood wands. And now we're going to the meat store. Excellent. Wonderful.
It's just one thing
Okay, I just
after
wanted
another.
to recap in case anyone had missed anything.
Just in case. Couldn't have anybody coming in halfway through and not knowing what's going on.
No, you never want anyone coming in halfway through.
Well, we
All
had
right.
to top Hot Elf Ghost Babe somehow, and I think we have. Well done.
Oh, for God's sakes, dude. Are you going to the meat shop?
Yes, we are going to the meat shop.
Call lead the way, meat.
I'm very excited to be going to the meat shop.
Okay. You walk into the meat shop, and it'll go. And there's a man standing behind the counter with a big butcher cleaver. It'll go, "Hello, my name is Richard. What do you need?"
Do you go by Dick, Richard?
Oh my goodness.
Why, yes, I do.
So we went to the meat shop. I found Dick.
Oh dear. Just when I thought we were done, I realized we had only been getting started. This is a rather lewd town, isn't it?
Oh my God.
Do you want some of my meats?
Yes, actually we do.
What can I interest you in?
Give us the
Here we
biggest
have.
give us the biggest piece of meat you have. We're going on a very perilous journey. And I'm sorry for my compatriots, they just can't hold themselves together.
Oh, a
Before
perilous
we go,
journey.
we love to fill up on meat before an arduous journey.
Wowie wow. Okay. And he'll walk to the back of the store. and he'll unbundle something you can't see and put it in a bag. And he'll plop it down on the counter. Bag of sausage just for you.
Is the counter waist level or higher? Because I don't trust this.
We'll go higher.
Okay, safe.
That'll be 1 gold.
I will pay the 1 gold.
Nice.
I
Very
feel
good.
like I should pay the 1 gold. I feel like I owe it.
Richard likes 2 gold too. That's fine.
Now, if we're paying 2 gold, I'm going to need to see a lot more meat from you, Dick.
Okay.
he'll walk to the back and he'll go get some like steaks kind of and bundle them up as well and put them in another bag.
Meat just for you.
Thank you. Your meat looks wonderfully tender.
Oh yeah, I pound it myself.
Daily? How
Of
often do you
course.
pound your meat?
Every morning and then right at night.
Well, it seems you're a very hard worker. I respect that. You put a lot of
Just
effort
like
into your
my
craft.
father.
Your father used to pound your meat. I'm so sorry.
Okay, I'm good.
I'm
I'm
not.
good.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure doing business with you. Perhaps too much of a pleasure. We've been a bit distracted. We had a very important quest, and now all we can talk about is meats. But the meat was meant to be an escape mechanism in case of emergency.
Oh, can I tell you how often meat is just an escape mechanism?
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
Mendax, we're gonna have to tie you up and carry you along if you don't shut it.
Okay.
So we've acquired
Bye
the
bye.
meats.
Have a nice day.
Thank you, Richard. Good
Bye,
luck with your
Dick.
future customers. I hope they're as
yeah.
enthusiastic as we are.
You know, that Dick was
Meat.
quite pleasant.
Yes, he's a funny
I'm
man.
so sorry. I'm so sorry I've done this.
Did you plan
Okay.
that before this episode, or was this a spur of the moment thing based on the
The
recent?
world may never know. All right. Okay, you have the bait. We'll now refer to it as, and you have the potions and the antivenoms. Anything else you want to try to make sure you have before you head out on your perilous journey?
Yes, our wits.
Okay, does everyone have their wits?
Nope.
No.
Okay, I think it's probably a
I
perfect
don't
time.
think I brought mine today.
Probably a good time for a 5-minute break then. Are we good to do that at this moment in time? I don't know if we're ready for that.
We are 1 hour 32 live, so I think with the intro before, that's like 1 hour 20.
Okay, yeah, that's probably this is a pretty good spot. Well, let's do our 5 minutes here, and then we'll get right back into it. Give us a chance to get out all the giggles.
Everyone, laugh as much as you can in the next 5 minutes or 10 minutes. How long? Do you need? How much do you need to laugh?
5 minutes is good.
I've got the church giggles. I'm sorry.
Okay.
All right.
Wayfarers, episode
Also,
5.
I did name him Richard.
Even more lewd than last time. We'll be right back after this brief laughing our ass off break.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Wayfarers episode 5, our most adult episode yet. We're joined by Apoptosis 808, doing the Dungeon Master, and he's the Goblin King. In the upper right-hand corner, we've got Mendax, the Tiefling Rogue, who is always trying to do the right thing. And in the bottom right, the Wizard, the man with the spells and the big wand. It is Nigel, played by Exile 5 Pigs. Cobra Venom's on production. My name is Timothy Stubblebubble. We're back to the action.
Yeah. All right. Serious time. Giggles are out. We're ready to go. You guys got the bait. You guys got the potions. And you guys have got the antivenom. You start to make your way to the cave that was pointed out to you by the gnome yesterday. What is the general plan as you approach this mountain? You have a solid day's trek ahead of you. What do you guys want to try to accomplish? Anything you want to try to do on the way there? Or are you just trying to keep your eyes open and head over to this area?
I think I would
Is it
like to.
close? I was saying, is it close to where the griffin attack was earlier? Is it in the opposite direction?
No, it's in the opposite direction. So there is a mountain to the south of Indrith, and that was the one that the gnome was pointing at yesterday.
Gotcha. Okay.
I believe we should head due south in that case.
Agreed.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, you guys make your way out. It is still very early morning. Even though you all had a very comfortable night's sleep, you still can't shake your usual sleeping habit of waking up a little bit before the sun gets up. So yeah, you guys make your way down. Let's go with Mendax. Each of you guys roll me just a straight D20. Let me know what you roll.
Oh shit. 7.
6.
Okay.
That's a 2.
Okay. The going is tough today. It is very hot. You're all sweating profusely before even half the day is done. You have to stop several times to catch your breath as you feel just worn out, really. But nonetheless, you guys do finish your travel and make it to the sort of beginning of the mountain. You've seen it the entire time looming in the distance, and you've been able to close that distance pretty efficiently, even though it's been such a hot day outside. Can each of you guys roll a survival check?
17.
Okay.
10.
I've got a +2, so 15.
Okay, 15. Okay. You're each able to recognize the signs that you may be getting overheated, and you know the dangers that can come from that sort of thing. So you take the proper precautions. You drink plenty of water. You stay in the shade what little there is. But most importantly, you give yourself plenty of breaks. So you're able to kind of fend off having any sort of heat exhaustion or stroke or anything worse than that. So you guys are okay. Worn out, but okay. After most of the day, so it is beginning to get to dusk. You guys are now at the sort of base of the mountain. The sloping of the mountain is gradual, but you can definitely tell it starts to take a sharp turn very soon. You don't see anything that looks like the cracks in the ground described by Carl or any sort of spiders quite yet. And it's going to take you all a little bit of time to find it. Would you like to increase your effectivity of searching by splitting up, or do you guys want to stick as a group and try to search as one cohesive party?
I would very much like to stick as a group.
Okay.
I'd very much like for one of you to suggest otherwise so I can make fun of you.
How about we just stick as a group and you imagine that you made fun of us and it was really fun?
I feel
And
superior
everyone laughed.
always anyway, so it's
So
really not a
hard.
stretch.
Nigel, have I told you how intelligent you are?
Yes, many times.
Good.
You're almost as intelligent as Carl is strong, and Carl is so strong.
That is true.
Okay, so you guys are going to stick together as a group. So we'll say that you each of your roles to try to find this wherever these spiders are pitching up tent essentially will be kind of combined into like one big assisted role. So let's go ahead and get a perception from each of you. Give me a perception check.
Of course, it's
19.
10.
Okay, 19, 10,
13.
13. Okay, sounds good. Pig, you are the one who notices this first, but as you begin to root around, you notice a very odd smell that begins to kind of permeate through the air. And following that direction, you do eventually, after about, we'll say another 30, 40 minutes of walking, you don't stumble upon, but you see off into the distance that there is some large crack in the ground that sort of moves and blocks off the path of the mountain. So if you were traveling along one side of the mountain, keeping the mountain on your right the whole time, following this weird, interesting scent, you do see a very large crack in the ground. And actually, there's a map up for that right now. You don't see any spiders, but you're a fair distance away. But judging from how far away you are, this crack that's in the ground is huge. Like it's not just like the cracked earth that you've been walking on normally. This is a massive gash in the earth. Any sort of way you guys would like to approach this. So you're approaching, if you're looking at the map, you're approaching from the right side, heading towards that giant cave.
Personally, I would like to approach with caution. I don't know what else you want to approach with.
It's a good question.
I will approach the gash with my wand at the ready, and I suggest we simply walk towards it and investigate what hidden mysteries are within.
Okay. Sounds good. Mendax.
Sure.
We will
All
approach
right.
it cautiously, weapons drawn, minds sharp, having got all our silly willies out in the morning.
Oh yeah. Certainly seems like all the silliness has left. Yeah, so you guys begin to approach and what's the order you guys are going to try to make the ascent to this?
I am always the very eager piece of filling in the sandwich, who, understanding his lack of physical prowess, tries to nestle himself between more obvious targets.
Okay, so you're going to be in the middle. Do we want to lead with Mendax or with Call?
Carl the Kinku, the Birdberry, Carl
Definitely.
the Kinku standing in the front.
Yes,
Alright.
I'll bring up the rear.
Sounds good. So Mendax in the back, watching the six, if you will. Okay, you guys approach this. The split in the earth is about, we'll say it's about 200 feet away by this point. So it's still a fair distance between you and that. Roll a perception check, each of you guys. I want to just know who rolled the highest.
No shit, not me.
9.
6.
15.
15. Nigel, you spot it first. There is some movement happening in like the back towards the mountain itself, and you follow it, and you can't get a perfect angle, but you do, after walking a bit more to the side, you see that there is you don't see that movement anymore, but you do see that there is a cave that is sort of supplanted into this mountain here. So you're assuming that the movement that you saw was a spider, presumably, and that it kind of scurried off into this cave. So it looks like there is this giant split in the earth that these spiders are coming up through and heading over into that cave. What would you guys like to do?
Well, obviously, I'll share with you guys. You can see over there. I think I've seen some spiders moving. I'm not really sure how to attack what seems to be a gigantic swarm of spiders.
I know how.
How? Carl, how should we do this?
So you see I have this large red potion. This potion is a fire potion. If we were able to get the spiders all in one clump, then perhaps we could roast them and have a spider barbecue.
I am capable of, if I get close enough to a large clump as well, I can set them on fire. I can use Burning Hands. It's a spell that will involve me getting very close to a large pack of them, though. I don't think it'll be nearly as effective as your fire potion.
Okay. So there were a few things that people mentioned, so I just want to get a sense of what you guys are going for. The druid mentioned that killing the brood mother, so the sort of the leader of the spiders, if you will get them to stop, and that if you bring back some of its venom, she'll make an item for you. There were other people, Carl being the main one, who said that he wants you to try to bring them back, his companions back alive. What are your guys' priorities? What are you trying to do? What's your objective?
Do we think that the companions are actually dead? Or do we think that there's a possibility that they could be alive?
I mean, I'm well read on spiders, and there have been cases where people have survived for sometimes over a week. Sometimes the spiders like to let them stew slowly in the webs and slowly atrophy. Other times they'll slowly drain them little by little, keeping them alive, encased in the webs. But, I mean, this is already a very dangerous quest, and I don't think we should put ourselves at risk. If we happen upon them, set them free. If not, I think we should try to sneak in and eradicate the brood mother if possible. But if we alert the entire swarm, then I think we will be in trouble. We'll probably be overwhelmed.
So, since we have been given no details on the whereabouts of the broodmother or these companions, our only way is forward.
Into the cave, yes.
Into the cave.
Okay. Let me know what you guys want to do. There is the split in the earth that is kind of impeding your path a little bit. You guys will have to get kind of close to that in order to get to the cave. So tell me exactly how you guys want to do it. You guys want to scout it out for a bit? What's the plan?
Mendax,
Feel free to discuss as you want to.
You're our master of sneakery and stuff, so I suggest you're our tactical leader on this quest.
Well, generally, I'm sneaking around humans, which are easy to predict, and these are spiders, so it's a bit outside of my range. But, I think. Are we trying to get into the cave without being detected, or are we trying to draw the spiders to the mouth of the cave where Carl can use his fire and breathe it down while they're funneled all together in one line?
Well, the other question is we don't know how many spiders are inside the cave. I can only do this fire-breathing thing once. It's got one use, this potion.
How about we
Very
save it for a worst emergency? And actually, perhaps we should think a little bit more about the idea of luring our feathered friend down to be the distraction. But I'm not sure how we can make a griffin's call or some sort of sound that might attract it without also attracting the spiders. Carl, do you think you can run very quickly potentially before the spiders get to us if we can maybe distract it?
You're saying you want me to do the griffin call that I practiced those nights that we were traveling, to summon the griffin, get the spiders to come out, they have a fight, and then we go into the cave, take out the brood mother, free the companions, and then that's mission accomplished.
Exactly. Then we go back to Dick.
Right. Perfect. That sounds like a good plan with a happy ending. Would you like me to begin with the sound? Or should we tippy-toe around and get near the entrance first?
I think we should get closer to the entrances first. Let's gingerly work our way around the outside of the gash to get closer to where we want to be.
Very stealthily.
Okay, is it still call in the front?
Yes.
Okay. Sure. Each of you guys give me a stealth check and let me know what you roll.
1.
Perfect.
8.
God damn, I got a 10.
Is that all with the bonuses? I'm just
Yes.
checking? All right.
Oh, don't
Perfect.
sound so happy.
Oh, good. Okay. Yes, you guys. Yeah, you're sneaking about. I mean, there's only so badly you can fuck up a sneak, but you guys are giving it a real go for its money here. It is dark, and if you don't tell people you have dark vision, they might understand why you're doing not such a great job. But you are kicking some rocks and shuffling around, kind of bumping into each other. And so let's just say you're not sneaking really at this point.
God
But
damn
you
it.
approach the split in the ground, and you're sort of at the very end of it, where it's kind of just forming, and it's sort of very rapidly spreads out, and you can see that at the the longest division of it, it's about a 6-foot gap. So it's 6 feet across from one side to the other. Inside, it is just kind of this pitch black nothingness. You see the walls of the rock and the dirt for a while, for as you know, for maybe a few feet, and then it just kind of sinks into this empty abyss. Anything you'd like to do, change up at all? Or are you going to proceed forward?
I assume the broodmother's in the cave, but do you think she might be down here?
Do we have climbing equipment?
I don't think so.
I have 50 feet of rope.
Right, so that we can lower someone down, they can be eaten by the spiders, and then the spiders can come out and kill the rest of us. Perfect. Who wants to be eaten by the spiders first?
I guess we'll check out the cave then.
Yes.
Okay, you do. Yeah, you make your way forward, sort of keeping an eye on the sheer drop off into the abyss, if you will, and You're not bothered by anything. Surprisingly, you guys are on edge, ready to go, ready to attack anything that moves that's not one of your friends. But nothing is rushing you. Nothing has gone really wrong. There is one thing that now impedes your path, though. The split in the ground goes all the way up to the side of the mountain itself, and that side of the mountain is a bit of a sheer face. If you walk to the edge of that, in order to proceed forward, you'd have to do one of two things: either jump the gap or try to climb across this sheer face. The gap itself is about 4.5 feet wide.
Easy. I mean, I can easily jump that gap.
Oh, okay.
Allegedly.
There you go.
I can allegedly easily jump that gap. I've a very high acrobatics bonus.
I think I can
Yeah.
make that jump.
Okay. Call, what are you thinking?
Oh, you know I'm gonna go for it.
Hey, fantastic. Any precautions we're taking, or are we going to take a plunge to the abyss if you guys fall?
We could tie a rope around a person, they jump across, and then in the case that they fell, we could pull them out.
Agreed. And that's
Ah,
I think that's for the best. And then once the first person is across, the other person ties the end of that rope to their waist, so that if they fall, the first person who made it can hold them up.
Right.
And that second person also has more rope tied around their waist for the third person.
Carl's the strongest, so he should jump first.
He should jump first, and I should jump last. No, Nigel should jump last. Because
Yeah.
we'd have two people to pull him up. Is that about right?
Perfect.
Sounds pretty good to me.
We have a plan to cross the ravine. All right.
Alrighty.
Tie the rope to my waist. Let's go.
Okay. Move it around.
It's a little bit tight.
Call.
It is a bit
Yes.
tight, but you're one thick ass bird.
That's true. Who the hell is that thick ass bird? Carl the Gink is that thick ass bird. Sorry, what?
No, nothing.
there-
Didn't mean to.
Yeah, if there's like a boulder or a tree stump or something, we can also anchor it to, just as a backup.
You unfortunately don't see anything around that is within range for you to really anchor it to. But good thinking on that. But
Alright.
it probably is just going to be up to you and Mendax to hold the
Right.
line if Call takes a spill.
It's all
Okay,
our
so-
muscles. We can do it.
All the muscles.
I'll wrap
Yes.
the give him plenty of slack. I'll wrap part of it around my waist so that I have my entire body weight to help hold it. And I'll pass the rest to Nigel.
Okay, sounds good. Call when you are ready to jump. If there's anything you want to do it now. But when you're ready, go ahead and give me an athletics or acrobatics roll. I'll let you do either one. It's up to you guys. Both will be good.
Well,
One or the other.
I would like to rely on my athleticism for a solid and effective jump.
All right, let's see it.
A 10.
A 10. All right. So this is, it's a 4.5 foot jump. You do get a running start. It's not nothing, but it's certainly not the biggest gap in the world. You get a running start, and you do kind of fumble at the last second, but you're kind of in it. So you make the dive, you make the jump and leap into the air, and you're able to clamber onto the other side. Just enough. You solidly make it, but you do not land gracefully. You kind of almost impale yourself on the other side of the ledge and quickly scramble your way up.
I slipped, I would say back to them.
Mendax and Nigel are kind of wide-eyed, slack-jawed, just holding onto the rope for dear life.
You know, I was thinking this rope is a pretty good idea.
Okay. All right, Nigel. I unwind myself. Nigel, Nigel, please move your wand. It's in the way. Thank you.
It does get in the way sometimes. Quite large.
We tie the rope around Nigel. It's Nigel's turn. And then I wrap the rest of the rope around my waist to make sure that I'm well anchored.
All right, Call, what are you doing on your side?
What am I doing on my side?
You
Yeah,
still have
are
rope
you-
around you.
I just have feelings of accomplishment. I could unfasten the rope and then I could hold it. I could hold it to
Okay.
steady and be ready for whoever goes.
All right. Sounds good. Nigel, show them how it's done. Give me an athletics or an acrobatics roll, whichever one you choose, whichever one you prefer.
We're going acrobatics. I'm not the most athletic, but I can kind of jump not quite completely terribly.
Okay.
And that's going to be an 11.
11. All right. You also make it to the other side on your own, unassisted. Again, not the most graceful landing though. You kind of have to scramble as you feel yourself falling down the side slightly, but you're able to find purchase and you cling to a few kind of rocks or bumpy areas in the ground and pull yourself up as well. The rope is still securely fastened to you, so no danger of meeting your doom today. But yeah, it was a bit of a precarious moment as well.
I was never in doubt at any moment. I know it easily.
I would like to
Simple
give
and
Nigel a crisp high five.
I go to fist bump, and then when you hit the fist bump, I go to high five, and then I just kind of end up holding your closed fist and shaking.
You see us Kenku, typically after we make a sweet jump, we would high five.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, do it again. Ready? 1, 2, 3, high five. That was close enough.
Well, we're good. It's easy, men.
Is
Next, come on, join
Is
us.
it my turn now? Okay, thank you.
It's easy.
I'm going to roll an acrobatics because I have an insane bonus on that. So
All right, insane bonus. Definitely no way to fail. Let's see it.
definitely no way to fail. When you have a +7 and you roll a natural 20 for a 27.
Wow.
And I think I just blew my good luck load for this entire episode.
Can we get a drum roll as she does like a front flip?
Yeah,
I would
absolutely.
like to do a triple sow cow into a front flip, into just a general somersault, then pop up, spin around 3 times in a row, and land with jazz fingers out.
Absolutely. You do all of those things and more as you run and sort of vault yourself as you sort of do this wall run for a second and jump off to find even more height and pull off all these fancy ass tricks. And you land, you stick the landing like a goddamn champion, jazz hands and all. Call and Nigel are on the other side holding up papers that have the word 10 written on it. And then great, everyone's on the other side.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to untie the rope from me. Gentlemen, please untie the rope from your waists. I would like to have my rope back.
And I would like a crisp high five for that sweet jump. Well done, men.
Hell yes, you would. Yeah.
Nice.
We've defeated the chasm. Nothing can
The
stop us
chasm-
now.
Chasm has been
That-
defeated.
That gash has nothing on us.
Nothing. You are now closer to danger than you are to safety. As you look behind you and see the cave is much closer than before. Everybody give me a perception check.
12.
20. Carl perceives
3.
all.
Awesome. All right, yeah, that's no problem. That'll
Let's
come
see.
into
Shit.
effect a little bit later. What do you guys want to do?
Well, I believe we're heading to the mouth of the cave, and then I will do the bird call to the griffin.
Okay. Yeah. What's the formation? How are we accomplishing that? Or is Call walking on his own?
As we walk forwards, we'll look. I want to really look for cover as well, somewhere we can hide. Right, we want to try to figure that out. But yeah, who's going first out of you two?
Well,
If-
I think I should go first in most cases, but in this case, it's best if you're slightly inside, so if I do the griffin call and then the griffin comes down, we can rush in quickly. We wouldn't want to get eaten by the griffin by calling to the griffin. That would be stupid.
maybe I'm misunderstanding. What is the point of what are you guys trying to accomplish with calling the griffin if you're going to run inside the cave after?
Well, we just wanted to talk.
I thought we tried to get the griffin to come out,
Okay.
and the spiders will come out to attack the griffin. They'll come outside. They will just press up against the outside of the wall, outside of the mouth of the cave.
Okay.
Nobody noticing us. Spiders rush out to fight the griffin.
Uh-huh.
They're in the middle of a battle. Then
Okay.
we go in while the spiders are outside to find the broodmother, kill the broodmother, hopefully find whatever remains of Carl's friends so he can stop being such a fucking bitch. And then we come out, throw some meat to the griffin. It loves us. We get some feathers. We get the spider icon or whatever we need from the spiders. And then we go back, get our rewards, get meat back with Dick. And then Carl gets to hook up with a druid. And then everyone is happy. That's the plan.
Perfect.
Okay. Let's see it.
Okay, so you two get into the doorway. Get into the mouth of the cave area.
Wait, no, to the side of the mouth. To the side of the cave.
Get to
Because
this.
if the spiders come out, we don't want them to, tackle us.
You handle that. I'm about to make the best bird call you've ever heard.
Oh, I'm so ready
All
for
right.
that. Okay, Nigel, with me. And I would like to draw my bow.
Okay, yeah, there's like some rocks and boulders that have been rolled down the
Actually,
mountain.
strike that. I want to get my daggers out. I feel like this
Okay.
is close combat situation at the moment. So daggers out,
Okay.
walk to the mouth of the cave.
Yeah, we're hiding.
But to the
Hide.
side. To the side of it. Pressed up
Okay.
against it. Very stealthily. We've not eaten any carbs for quite some time. We're not bloated. We're not taking up very much room at all. So we're just
Okay.
standing on the side of the edge of the cave mouth.
Understood.
Very closely pressed.
Are there any boulders or anything, or any trees or any cover that we can use? to
Yes,
add
there
to
are
our-
some.
Rather than doing the cartoon stand next to the doorway, just to add another layer of sneak detection.
Yeah, there are some rocks and boulders that have kind of fallen down the mountain in the past that are pushed off to the sides of the opening of the cave. Yeah.
Okay, that's a better idea. We'll hide behind those.
Okay. All right. Let's see this.
Are you done yet?
Wait, are you standing out in the open and doing the scream? Why don't you hide with us and then do the scream?
Listen, if you're doing
I'm
a good scream, you need to have proper volume in your chest. The air comes from your lungs, and if you're all
Listen.
hunched over hiding in a corner, you can't do much of a scream now, can you?
You know what?
Will
I
you let
apologize.
the Kenku
for
do his
questioning.
work?
I apologize. You're the artist here. You're the scream artist, and I'll just let you go ahead and work your masterpiece.
You know what? Thank you. It's very respectful of you. Very well. Stand back. Well, now let's
Okay.
see if it worked.
All right. Are you staying out in the open, call, or are you running away?
I would like to run the fuck away.
Okay. Yes, you do indeed. I believe. Let me read your mimicry real quick. If I'm not mistaken, anything that hears your mimicry has a chance to realize it's coming from you. Yep. Insight. Okay, can you roll for me a deception check, please?
Deception? That would be
Deception.
a 13.
A 13. Alrighty. Let's see what I'm able to get. 1 second. 13, pretty hard to beat. Let's see. Alright, fair enough. I guess this shit's actually happening. So you do that very loud call, which you have been practicing and perfecting over the last few nights, much to the dismay of your companions, and to any other woodland creatures who have heard you and run terrified in the other direction. A griffin is nothing to fuck with, man. And after a few moments of silence and holding your breath, not knowing if you made the biggest mistake of your life by screaming right in front of a spider cave, or if this is the most genius plan you've ever concocted. But then you hear a mirroring, very identical screech in the night sky. As you, yes, indeed, exactly like that. And you look up, and as I said before, it is pretty dark. It is now, the sun has set, so Nigel is essentially just blind. And Neuro and Mendax are still even struggling with their dark vision, as it only goes about 60 feet. And as you guys wait, you begin to hear the familiar whoosh of the air overhead as something massive passes over the front of the cave. After a few moments and a few more passing by, you hear that screeching sound again, but a lot louder. Roll a Constitution save.
21.
Okay.
I feel a little bit invigorated.
14.
14.
Oh, Ash is muted.
Oh.
And 20, but 18 plus 2, so 20.
Okay, you're each able to plug your ears and strain against how loud and high-pitched that screech really was, as you feel the tinnitus setting in and your eardrums beginning to ring. Somehow, you manage to escape rupturing your ears themselves. After all of that nastiness, you hear a very loud thud in the main area where you guys where Call was just standing. What do you guys do? Are you looking over there, or are you just cowering behind the rocks?
I'm admiring my handiwork, thank you, sir.
I mean, I'm peeping out, but not all the way, just ever so slightly, so that I can gauge what is happening in the open without
Yeah,
revealing myself.
I'm the same vein. Cowering for the most part, but just a little bit of peeking.
Okay, mostly cowering, partly peeking. Yeah, you look out on this magnificent beast, and though it is dark, you get a sense for exactly how ferocious and imposing this creature really is. You do, even to be in its presence, you can sense how deadly and dangerous this creature is. It has evolved essentially to prey upon large creatures, not having any issue with killing horses easily, as the same with other griffins as well, and humans by no fault of their own. Very territorial, and you make the realization that you are in its territory in addition to the spiders. Roll a sneak check, each of you.
Is a sneak check the same as a stealth check?
Yeah. Stealth and sneak.
It's a 5 from me.
21.
Okay.
25, because I rolled a natural 20 again.
Ooh.
Nice. The checks are in your favor tonight.
Ew.
Anyway.
Nigel, you sort of are too enthralled with this vision of what this creature is, and accidentally break off a piece of the rock that you realize you were clinging to a little too hard, and it clatters down onto the ground. The griffin instantly flipping around and spreading out its wings wide. Its wingspan is about 10 feet long. And you see that this thing is absolutely fucking massive. The moonlight and stars are just enough to catch the side, or the sort of glinting in its eyes. As you can see, these two shining orbs now are fixed on the position where that sound came from. Roll a dexterity save, all of you.
Oof. Okay, what do we get? 12.
14.
9.
Okay, Mendax and Nigel, you're both able to duck behind the rock quickly enough to realize, after realizing what Nigel accidentally did. Call, you're a little slow to the draw. You try to duck down, but you find yourself kind of awkwardly shoved into the corner, and you can't push yourself out of sight enough. The griffin begins to slowly stalk towards you guys.
My good allies, perhaps it is time to give this bird the meat.
Who has the meat?
I think both Carl and I have meat.
Yes.
Okay.
So
What's the play?
So, Mendax, you save your meat, I'll put my meat out there, and then the bird will have something to feast on, and we can rush into the cave.
Agreed. You throw your meat out there.
All
Do
right.
it.
I would like to take my meat out and throw it at the bird.
Okay, no problem. You pull out the bait bag, we'll call it, and throw it at the griffin, essentially. Not like you're trying to hit it, but in its general direction. And yeah, it thuds to the ground. Let's see. Oh, good lord. Yeah, and the griffin instantly sort of flaps its wings and hovers in the air as it's pissed off once again. Can each of you roll another Constitution save? Between dying of laughter.
Fuck me.
10.
3.
3. All right, Mendax.
Which seems accurate at the moment.
Yeah, it does kind of. The griffin's screech this time is enough to really do a number on your ears. As you put your hands up again to try to block out the sound, you pull them away and realize that your ears are bleeding a bit now, and the ringing in your ears doesn't stop. You take 3 damage.
Shit. I did.
You're trying to commune with the goats now.
Huh?
Never mind. We should
Oh wait,
probably...
do you shout out loud?
Me?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay.
Definitely did not.
I'm just checking.
Do you think it's best that we rush into the cave?
Have we seen any spiders come out?
No, you haven't.
God damn it. Yeah, I think it's best we go into the fucking cave and do all these goddamn spiders.
Well, at least the griffin got a nice meat. Shall we proceed, or can we proceed, I guess is the question.
Peering out from your spot again to see what the griffin is doing after letting out another shrill cry, you see that it is kind of stabbing at the bag with its beak. Pecking doesn't seem to be an apt enough description, as this literal spear is stabbing into the ground and ripping this bag apart as it eats the tasty treats that are inside. So it does look to be as distracted as it's going to be for the next few moments.
Okay, I said we dash inside. Go, go, go.
Go, go, go. Yes, go.
Go, go.
Come on, Nigel.
Okay, we've rushed
Alrighty.
toward the cave entrance.
All right, a full-on run from the group. Give me one last acrobatics check. One last chance for me to just kill someone.
Motherfucker.
8.
19.
All right. Okay.
23, because I rolled a 16. I have +7.
Okay, and the ropes are untied off of you guys, right?
Yes.
That's correct. We already put them back with me.
Okay. Yes. Mendax and Call, you both vault over the rocks very easily. Practiced hands at this sort of action as you dart into the cave as quickly as possible, your dark vision giving you a big advantage in this pitch blackness. Nigel, you are at a little bit more of a disadvantage in this situation. You can't see that great in the darkness. You're able to clear the rocks with no problem. This hulking behemoth of a beast to the side of you, again, just jabbing into this bag. But as you approach the cave, your boot gets stuck. It just inexplicably gets stuck as if it's adhered to the ground.
Is this a goddamned horror movie? Ah!
What would you like to try to do?
Just get out of the boot. I have extra shoes, Nigel. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I am obviously going to frantically kind of wiggle at it, and I will slide my foot out of it if it can't come free.
Yeah, you slip your foot out of the shoe very quickly, not wanting to aggravate the griffin more so than you have. Looking back for a moment while you're doing this, you do see those shining orbs are fixed on your position again, which gives you a slight incentive to go a bit quicker as you leave your boot in the dust and fumble and trip into the cave where Mendax and Call are waiting. You're able to make it, but you are now less one shoe.
No, he's not. No, my friend is not.
Okay.
Because I have 3 extra shoes, 2 of which would fit that foot. One you'd be kind of screwed with. Sorry, was it his right foot or left foot?
Which extra shoes do you have?
I'm not
So
telling
you have
You're
one
right.
shoe from the bandits, and then you have 2 shoes from Alleluia Jackson, right?
I have exactly 1 bandit shoe, 2 Alleluia shoes.
Okay. It is Nigel's left boot that is missing.
Damn, I only have 1 left. So hopefully you fit Alleluia Jackson's shoe because that's the only left-footed shoe I have left.
I will try to slide it on.
Yes,
Cinderella?
you.
Oh, you are Cinderella.
Yes.
Perfect fit. Who
It
would
does
have
fit
known?
shockingly well, as you have now 1 shoe on your right foot that is kind of a beige brown color and a pearly white almost sneaker on your other left shoe.
I mean, you could also have the right shoe if you would like to match. It's open to you. I will give it to you for nothing, my friend. If you would like to have matching shoes, and then I would carry your excess shoe.
I would love to have evenly balanced shoes, since running in different thickness soles seems a little bit nasty.
Perfect. I will give him the other shoe, and I will take his excess shoe, and I will add it to my shoe collection.
Sounds good. Yes, Nigel, you have shiny white shoes. Now equipped. I guess if you would like to put that into your equipment, please do. Those are Alleluia Jackson's shiny shoes. While Mendax and Nigel were swapping fashion tips, Call, you sort of got a... you've been looking around. You've been looking around the cave to see what kind of environment you're in. You notice, and this is where that perception roll from earlier is coming in, that the sides of the cave are covered in this thick white silk. There is barely any rock coming through. That's not what your perception roll is for. Anybody can see that. What you notice is actually on the ground. On the ground, there is no silk that you see at first, but upon closer inspection, maybe a strand of it was caught in the light of the moon that was able to pass by the cave front for a moment. You see 9 invisible strands of thread that span as you look all the way back into the front and by the entrance now, even where the griffin is. So there are these just very, very, very faint and barely visible threads on the ground. You touch it, it's not like this silk that's on the wall. Your hand doesn't stick to it necessarily.
This is not sticky. This is sticky. Not sticky, sticky. Not sticky. Sticky, sticky, not sticky. I figured it out.
Perfect. Good job.
Thank you.
we do know that spiders can set up networks of these threads to feel when prey enters their territory, so they can set up ambushes. And we discussed this in the forest. So, keeping that in mind, Carl, would you maybe not play the "Hello, we have food walking into your cave" song on those strings?
It's a good song, though.
I will say that to avoid, it would basically be impossible to proceed and avoid standing or walking on any of these threads, unless you have some special way to fly or float, which you might. I don't know.
I feel like this might be the case where if we can't move forward without touching these sticky, non-sticky strands, we're gonna have to jiggle them and bring them in, real world Thermopylae style, and then blast them with fire.
Yeah. I'm already a little freaked out that these spiders haven't come out. Maybe they've learned that the griffin just feasts on them, destroys them, so they avoid it. Maybe it's not late enough at the night since they are nocturnal. Part of me is thinking of if they were not in danger, I could conjure an unseen servant here. It's going to take me 10 minutes of just chilling in this cave entrance, which doesn't seem like a good idea. And I can basically get it to just sit there and play, "Hey, there's food here in your cave" on the strings, and then try to lure the spiders out to the griffin. But this seems like a bit of a long shot. And I can only channel that unseen servant 60 feet before it dissipates. So I don't know if there's anywhere to hide. Are there any... Is this just one cavern going down? There's no side paths, there's no boulders or anything. This seems like it's probably too fancy of a plan.
You're not too far into the cave. You're barely beyond the mouth of the cave as it's sort of, you go in and it veers off to the right fairly quickly. So you've gone down the right pathway. But as far as like branching off tunnels, you haven't seen any of that yet. So far, the path in front of you continues for a bit, and then you see it kind of shears off to the left. So you're not entirely sure what the rest of this cave looks like. You do feel fairly safe against the griffin. You don't know that would necessarily be an issue. But as far as spending 10 minutes in one spot in the entrance of the spider cave, I leave that entirely up to you.
Help me understand this, Nigel. I don't know what unseen servant is. Are you saying that you would conjure some servant for you who would go into the cave further and scout for us?
I can't get it to scout. I can't communicate with it, but I can get it to perform simple tasks like poking the strings and then trying to lead any spiders that come. It can lead them to the just outside the entrance of the cave, basically. I can get it to perform menial tasks. It's essentially just a shapeless medium force. It's invisible. It can't be seen, though, so it can obviously manipulate things, but I'm not sure if it'll actually be able to lure them beyond the silk threads.
Understandable. This is... If it could be safe for us to do this and have the three of us still sneak back outside and hide behind the boulders, I think it could work. But if we have the invisible servant tiddling with the spider web while we are three standing in the cave and like in this hallway, for the spiders to come out through, I don't think they'll pass by us to go to the griffin. So if we can get back outside to hide again, it might work. But if we can't, then I'm not sure that one would work as well.
I've got
I mean, it would probably work to bring them out, and then we could burn them.
I think maybe we just headbutt in here. Dive deep. Carl's got some potions and some rages in him, I'm sure. His halberd's been itching for a fight. I've got a few burning hand spells up my sleeve. We've got one fire potion.
That's right. I've got some knives and a biting wit, so...
So what you're saying is we take our badassery, go into this cave all the way and kick their shit in until we kill the boss.
I feel far more confident against a horde of spiders in a confined space head on than I do against a giant ass griffin in the open who's already pissed off.
I would like to equip my halberd.
Done deal. What is the light situation? Mendax and Call, you guys are doing okay. Nigel, it is fucking dark.
Shit. Why do I never think about this? Checks inventory.
You might as well.
You guys should
I
have
have a tinder
torches.
box. I do have
was-
a tinder box.
Yeah, I was more. It's not necessarily an issue of do you have the items and equipment to take care of the light.
And a candle.
More so, do you want to do that? Not trying to say you should or shouldn't. Just wanting to get a clear sense of what the light situation is like.
I do have a tinder box and a candle, so we can produce some light for you, Nigel, if you need it.
It might be a good idea since I can't aim my spells too well, but do we have a torch? Need something a bit sturdier than a candle.
Yeah, you guys have a torch. That's fine.
Okay.
And in fact, Call has 13 torches, if I'm looking at his equipment correctly here.
All right. You guys cool with me lighting up a torch?
Is that what they're calling it these days?
Oh, yes.
Nigel, honestly, we'd never have expected you.
That was not time. Trying to fight some spiders, dude.
So
Oh, fuck,
we
they-
have one torch, Nigel's having a torch, and we all
Torches
have a
up,
torch.
boys. Let's go.
Okay. Okay, so each of you are going to have a light source in the matter of a torch. Not an issue. Call, go ahead, -3 of those from your inventory, just so we have an idea.
Can do.
Not too concerned with it, but just so we have a, I guess, an accurate count. All right, fantastic. It is much brighter, and you're able to see a lot more of this cave, for better or for worse. You don't quite realize exactly how thick this silk is until you have a light source. Even in dark vision, it can be hard to see. It is very, very thick. It is covering literally all the walls of this cave except for the ground. You can now see these very small, invisible threads of silk on the ground, which span everywhere. You guys have been walking in it. You guys have been sitting in it. If they are what you think they are, then the spiders are very aware that you're here. In the silk itself, there's all manner of debris and tiny bug. It's, if you touch the silk on the wall, it does feel extremely fine, but also incredibly, sticky. Almost as if there are little hooks that are like piercing into your skin. It doesn't hurt necessarily, but it's like a Velcro kind of feeling as opposed to a goop or something like that. The odor in here, which you're now noticing for the first time after catching your breath, is stagnant. It's stale. It's as if you're getting the final breath of a corpse breathing right into your face. So all around, pretty unpleasant. It's no flower and rainbows in this place. That's the entrance of the cave. Have fun. You gonna go further in?
Nigel, you've read about spiders. Are there other webs flammable?
Nigel, roll a nature check.
You're muted, sir.
Sorry. Rolled a 1. I have a +3 to nature, though. That may be this chapter I skipped. I'm not sure.
He doesn't know shit about spiders.
All that time playing with his wand and no reading about spiders.
You don't know if they're particularly flammable, but I will tell you there is a very easy way to find
Well,
out.
I was about to say, as somebody who does know how to mansplain and nerdsplain, my master Nivix did it a lot in my upbringing, and I learned from him. He was a bit of a father figure. So rather than admitting I don't know things, I'll explain how I do know things that I don't know. I mean, obviously, we can simply test it out right here and find out, and I'll just hold my torch over to one of these silks on the ground.
You do it to the silk on the ground.
Whilst saying, as you can see, it obviously is, and holding off actually answering the question until I stick the torch into the silk.
Got it. Yep. So the silk on the ground, like I said, is not overly. It's not like a carpet by any means, but yes, the silk on the ground quickly catches flame, and almost like a fuse, it begins to approach the wall. For a moment, you're filled with panic as you realize you might catch the wall on fire. Go ahead and roll a quick dexterity save, Nigel.
I'm fire resistant. I have fire resistance. I'm good.
I will say you're not fire immune.
That's
You are
true.
resistant.
I'm less worried.
17 plus 2, 19.
19, no problem. Looney Tunes style, you are able to kind of quickly stamp out the fuse that is this silk that is moving towards the wall. You maintain your chill, although a bead of sweat pools up on your forehead and drops on the ground.
As you can see by this experiment, I can tell you it is very flammable, but I wanted to show you how quickly it spreads just to drive home. It's dangerous. Be careful with your torches. I should have told you before we lit them.
Well, thank you for that demonstration. I did not know that.
Wow, I didn't know that either. Thank you. My goodness, Nigel.
Wizards
well read.
truly are amazing.
They are, aren't they, though? So, do you think there's any way we could burn only what's in front of us and let it burn all the spiders out without having to move any further into the cave?
That sounds like a very lazy solution to a complex problem.
Does the webs on the walls, they extend outside the cave, right? Now that we can see with light?
Oh,
Yep.
shit.
Yeah, I think there's a griffin between us and that plan now.
But I also have a rapier. So could I cut the webs, a nice little fire break from the front, and we only light the back part of the webs?
We don't even know that the brood mother is here. We will be lighting a cave on fire.
I mean, that just sounds like a good time.
I will say as well that your alignments might have a problem with it. There are possibly innocent living people. in the cave.
Oh, that's right.
Just gonna
Yes.
throw that out there, unless you want to
Okay.
make the dive into Evilville.
I mean, my alignment is. I'm kind of okay with it, but yes, okay. So fine. We walk into the cave and we don't burn shit down. Hi.
Hey, man, I'm just here to tell you what'll happen. That's all.
They're dead.
They could be dead. I don't know. Yeah.
They're probably dead.
Save... Yes, I mean...
And if they're
very-
not, they're probably beyond saving psychologically. You'd be doing them a favor with a quick burning death. I'm just saying. But fine. Let's walk into the fucking cave.
What if
and
it
not
was
burn.
you, Mendax? What if you were in the cave? Would you
I
want
am
someone
in
to
the
just
cave
burn
and
it
I'm
down?
saying we should burn it.
In the cave, in a cocoon, you know what I meant.
I would say burn me because I'd be embarrassed that I let myself be cocooned.
Well, you're also a weirdo.
That is also fair and also true.
Well, let's try our best. I will use this large halberd. Nigel will use his amazing wand, and you can stab something or shoot it with your bow. How about
I can
that for a
stab
plan?
That's an excellent plan, I suppose. If burning is off the table.
We
then
could
I
just sit
believe-
in this cave mouth and talk for 20 hours about different strategies and game plans and whatnot. But just as a reminder, Kenku don't live for particularly long. We have a lifespan of about 35, and if you could shut the fuck up and make it into the cave, I would most appreciate it. Thank you.
Well said, Nigel.
A barbarian's
fuck, sorry,
rage can
well
only
said.
last so
Nigel!
long.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
no call.
Oh my goodness. Kenku cannot even get any kind of recognition for their own endeavors
No.
here.
He's too good at pretending. Well said. All right, Nigel, what are you doing? Where is everyone standing? Is same positions as before? Nigel in the middle, Call in the front, Mendax in the back.
Carl is leading us in front, I'm sure. His halberd thirsting for
Absolutely.
blood.
He's
course.
very worried about his lifespan at the moment. He wants to get to it. So
All right, Call. You lead on, pressing into the absent darkness of the cave, the torchlight flickering and revealing dancing shadows on the walls as the light begins to play and cast strange shapes and shadows from all the different angles. So yes, you press forward, walking for maybe just I don't know, only about a minute or so deeper before the cave begins to open up. Now you are in the first sort of first area where you don't have to stand single file. It spans out to about 10 to 15 feet on either side of you, and a pillar in the middle goes up to the ceiling. The light itself does reach the top, and you see that there are a few holes in the ceiling, a little bit smaller than, we'll say they're about a foot or two in diameter. A pillar is in the middle, and you see that the silk extends on the sides of the walls and funnels up into those holes as well. The other side of the room, which is about 20 feet across at this point, it opens up very quickly from the sort of snake-like entrance. There is another sort of, you can see beyond, like it opens into another big opening area.
What a magnificent cave formation this is. Where are all the spiders? This looks like their hideout.
Should we burn it?
We already went over that. We decided we were going to take the stabbing approach.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Because we didn't want to burn ourselves.
When push comes to shove, I may have limited non-burning usefulness in combat. Just a heads up. I mean, I can hit things with my staff or my dagger, but you know, it's not going to be the most effective. I do have an ice spell as well, but just a heads up, if push comes to shove and I panic and start using my most powerful magics, everything might go up very quickly.
Well,
We may need to run very, very fast, is what I'm getting at some point, if things go wrong.
or you could keep your shit together and use your magic responsibly.
Oh, wow. Little judgy there, Carl. It hasn't happened yet.
Sorry.
Roll
I'm getting a little bit
perception check.
impatient.
Yeah, roll a perception check real quick.
4.
Fuck.
17.
8.
Okay, Call, you are able to see the first spider that was hiding around the side of the pillar sort of dart out as it lunges at you. Go ahead and roll a dexterity save.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. You're able to jump out of the side as Nigel gets tackled by this spider. Nigel, what is your armor class?
Bad. 12. It's not the worst.
Not the worst, but we'll see how bad.
Oh, I should be back at max hit points as well. Let me edit that.
Yes, everyone is definitely back to maximum hit points.
Not me. I'm -3.
You are -3. The ringing in your ear subsiding, but not completely going away. Yeah, Nigel, this spider lunges at you and tackles you to the ground.
Oh, God.
You take 3 points of damage as its fangs sink into your shoulder. It's not enough to pierce your flesh, but it's like as if you're getting pinched really hard, and that's where the damage is coming from.
Ow!
Yeah, so this big ol' hulking behemoth of a spider is now that well, Nigel, you're not necessarily looking at it so much as trying to fend it off. Call and Mendax, you see this thing, yep, just like a spider should be, 8 legs, hairy as all hell, but with weird red blotches kind of all around it. It has a large set of pincers, and Mendax, you can see these black orbs set into its skull, which must be its eyes, as the sort of creaking and squishing of its movements begin to fill your ears, Nigel, as this thing is it's attacking you here, bud.
I'm going to let out a very manly scream and kick at it.
Okay. Yeah, you kick at it. Go ahead and make another dexterity save to see how you're able to manage that torch you were holding on to.
Oof. That's going to be 17.
17. You are able to keep it from hitting the ground as you sort of, your hand like bounces off, but you're able to flick your wrist in such a way, keeping your presence of mind not to set the ground on fire beneath you. And you kick at it, right? So give me a strength check to get out of this grapple that's essentially happening here.
All right. And that's a 7 + 1, 8.
8. All right, let's see. Now, this spider is proving to be too formidable a combatant against you. And he is able to keep you pinned to the ground. But now, Call and Mendax, you're able to act as you wish. Go ahead and give me initiative rolls from you two.
16.
Okay.
8, 9, and we get 2 for initiative, right?
It should be there's a stat block at the
Oh,
top.
wait.
You have a +3. It's
Okay,
next to
then-
your armor class.
Oh shit! Then 12.
Oh,
Okay,
so
so
19.
19 and 12. Okay, perfect. Call, you feel slightly bad that your instincts took over and darted you out of the way of your friend, and your buddy got tackled, but you quickly snap to it, realizing your friend is in danger. What do you do?
I would like to very happily finally get to use my halberd. And if it's pinning him down, if I could swing at it without hitting my friend. Is that possible?
Yeah, you can sort of golf swing at this thing, no problem.
Yeah. Little golf never hurt anyone, except maybe a
Nah,
spider.
give me a to hit roll here.
That's an 11.
Alrighty, any bonuses to that? Is that including your +5 to hit?
Oh no, that would make it a 16.
All right, that sounds a little bit better. Yeah, you are able to swing this halberd at such an angle that it is going to miss bisecting Nigel and cleave into the side of the spider. Give me a damage roll, and don't forget to give me an additional +1 because of the masterful sharpening that has happened.
Very nice. Oh my goodness. A perfect 10.
A perfect
But
10.
it's D10 plus 3, right? For my house.
It's a D10 +3 and then plus an extra 1 because of the sharpening.
Okay, so 11. Sorry, 12. I don't know.
Wait, you rolled a 10?
I
what did you
rolled a
roll?
9.
Okay, you rolled a 9. So 9 + 4 is 13.
13. You see,
All
this
right.
is why I'm not the wizard.
All right, so 9 + 4 is 13. Yeah, you are able to cleave into the side of the spider, chopping off 2 of its 8 legs as they fall to the ground, spasming from the additional sort of fluid that like jets through it to make it move. It sprays out this sticky green kind of pus from those 2 legs and from the gash that you make into the side of the spider. All manner of sort of goo and bits start to seep down the side and drip onto to Nigel's, let's say his cloak, I guess he's wearing. So yeah, you fucked him up.
That's good. People may have
Indeed.
laughed at my math, but the spider isn't laughing, and that's what matters.
Yeah, it lets out a terrible shriek, like a very high-pitched, hissing noise would be, I guess, the most appropriate. Mendax, what do you do, man?
It's still alive.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, then I want to stab the shit out of it in his eyeballs.
All right. Are you specifically aiming to hit it in the eyes, or are you
No, just stab. We'll just
you're
stab
gonna
in general.
All right. No worries. Give me some to hit rolls.
17.
17. Is that with your +5?
Oh, no, that's not with my +5. So 22.
22. It's important to remember those +5s, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, 22. That's absolutely going to hit this guy. Do you want to roll some damage?
I would love to roll some damage. So 1d4 +3. Okay. So 6.
Are you doing your dagger or the rapier?
The dagger. I had my daggers out.
Oh, you're attacking with both of the daggers.
Yes.
Okay, so you got 6. Absolutely. Yeah, you stab one of the you stab its head essentially, or just below it as it stabs into the, I don't know the biology of a spider. The abdomen of it, I guess, is the best description. That same thorax. Thank you, Nigel.
Thank you, wizard.
Thank you, wizard. You're much more learned than I. Yeah, that green goo begins to well up and coat your dagger again. Do you want to go ahead and hit with the other one?
I would love to hit him with my second dagger.
Okay. Just so you know as well in the future, if you can attack with the rapier and the dagger as well. Just so you're aware of that. I don't know if there's a specific reason you're doing the dagger.
No, I just had the daggers out because I thought it was going to be a close tunnel, and daggers are better in close combat than rapiers. I didn't want to hit the sides of the walls.
Here I am with the halberd.
Very good point. Large cave.
Alrighty, go ahead and you want to do the rapier attack then instead of a dagger?
Sure, why not?
Go for it. This one will be without any bonuses to the hit roll.
Okay, let me get my 8. 4.
Nope, that is not going to be enough. The rapier a little bit more less wieldy than the dagger. You stab through essentially one of the sides of its legs, but you're not able to make a good enough contact with it. You do get, though, on that first dagger roll, I believe you do get sneak attack for that because
I do.
You would have advantage. So go ahead. I think that's an additional. What is it now? Is it 1d6?
I think so.
What is your sneak attack?
Where is it? Sneak attack, yes, 1 extra d6.
Yeah. All right, give it a roll.
Oh, is a 6.
Okay, so yeah, I think that is probably going to be enough there. Let me do
Get off my wizard.
do some quick maths. Ooh, actually, no.
Don't you fucking lie to me, TM. I've
It-
already
well-
yelled at the spider. I've already yelled at the spider.
The yell still sticks. The yell is intimidating.
Well, I'm going to BM the shit out of this spider.
The spider is much worse for wear, as the dagger sinks in deeper, kind of dislocating its head slightly. It's barely clinging on to life, as it's no longer focused on attacking Nigel, and its legs are spasming and freaking out as death is just on the horizon for it. It is still alive, though.
I get a movement, though, right?
Yeah, you can move.
Because I'm level 2, so I get the extra movement.
Yeah, so your level 2, what that does, that is the cunning action. You can take a bonus action to dash, disengage, or hide. So let me just explain a little bit what that means. Dash is an extra full movement, so you get another 30 feet of movement. Disengage is if you're in combat, you can move 5 feet without provoking that free attack that you guys have gotten sometimes. And then hide is pretty self-explanatory.
Yes.
So you could, for instance, take your bonus action to disengage so that you don't get hit when you leave combat, and then take your regular movement because you haven't done that yet.
Okay, then yes.
So that's kind of how you could combo it.
I would like to disengage.
Okay, you do so.
And then with my regular movement, I will move close enough to be ready to attack again, but not close enough for the spider to hit me.
Got it. Okay, no worries. So you want to go up further into the cave itself, or would you like to go back the way you came slightly?
YOLO. Further into the cave.
Okay, you got it. So you are able to move further into the cave. Nigel, this thing is still attacking you, or not attacking you, but it's like spasming on top of you as it's freaking out. What do you
hot.
want to try to do?
It might not be the wisest. I'm just very tempted to stick the torch in its face.
I like it. That's cinematic as fuck.
It's either that or get my dagger out, which I really can't do when it's biting one arm and I'm holding the torch and stopping that from lighting up the silk at the other time. So I think I'm just going to kind of thrust the torch into its head.
All right, yeah, you do that. Go ahead and roll a d20. I think it's just straight up for an improvised weapon.
Cool.
Yeah, go ahead, just roll it straight up
16.
d20. 16. That is absolutely going to hit this guy. Go ahead and roll a d4 for damage.
All right. Go D4. That's a 1.
You know what though? The 1 surprisingly good enough. It was actually on 1 hit point left. So you stick the torch in as hard as you can into this spider's face. The flames start to engulf and singe the hair that's on that's on this putrid beast. And yeah, it singes its face and it sort of slinks to the ground as it collapses. Its legs curling up and sort of forming like more of a spider ball than a spider itself. Yeah, so well done. You're free from the spider's grasp as you shove it off of yourself and you straighten your garments and robes. You try to wipe off as much of the slime as possible. And yeah, you guys are okay. You guys are good to go.
Well, at least
More or less in one piece.
we've
Yes,
confirmed
I'd
this
like-
is a spider cave.
I'd like to reach my hand out and help Nigel up.
You do
was
so.
Was that the brood mother?
You get the sense that was not the brood mother.
I feel like that was just a brood baby.
Well,
Yeah, okay. What would you guys like to do? Besides that bit of a scuffle, there's no other commotion happening in this room at the moment. Mendax, you kind of had to unwieldily use your weapons there. I gave you some negatives to attacking with that second weapon because you were having a torch in the same hand as well. You can put the torch away and get full benefit from just regular, but just kind of letting you know there.
Yes. I would very much like to put the torch away. Can I like douse it onto the ground where it won't burn the webs and hand the torch back to Carl?
Yeah, I mean, there's a fresh spider corpse you could kind of
Yes.
do that with. Yeah.
Alright, I'd like to do so then, put my torch out in the spider carcass, hand the remainder of the torch back to Carl. I've only used it for a moment or two, so it's still quite good.
Yeah.
And I have dark vision, so the other 2 torches would be just fine. And I would like to have both hands free to be able to attack.
Absolutely. Yeah, where you kind of put this torch out like a cigarette into the spider's corpse, it singes and retracts and crisps up in a very unpleasant way, as if like it's almost turning into a more of a shell than like burnt flesh, if that makes sense. It's less skin and more armor. Let's put it that way.
Ew.
Yeah, it's all around pretty gross.
Well, I'm just getting warmed up. Do you want to proceed? Find the big one.
let's go.
Okay, yeah, you guys take either side of the pillar, moving cautiously through, and you're now at the entrance to the second room of this kind of big cave, which has opened up even more significantly. The room itself is about 30 to 40 feet wide, and now the ceiling extends up beyond the reach of your torch. You actually can't see how high up it goes, but you think that this is where the cave has truly started to begin. Everything else has just been maybe the entrance so far. The white silk does extend all the way up the walls and is present on anything vertical. The ground Well, I'll get to the ground in a second. The silk isn't covering every patch of the wall at this point. It is still very thick, but it is not a carpet, essentially, that's attached to the wall. You can see some of the bare rock facing. Call, as you kind of begin to enter this room, you feel a crunch beneath your feet. And you realize that that's not silk that's on the ground, but actually the ground is littered in a thin layer of bones.
Oh. Spiders don't have bones like these, do they?
They certainly don't, as you recognize the familiar look of human skulls, some smaller skulls that maybe belong to elves, some very broad ones. Maybe that's a dwarf, maybe it's an orc. Who knows exactly? There are some animal bones attached in here as well. But yeah, there are all manner of bones, all shapes and sizes, with differentiating amounts of freshness, I guess is the best way to describe it. Some of these are very dusted, old, and cracked, while some of them seem to almost have still the fresh marrow inside.
Looks like many things have been killed and eaten here. We should tread carefully. Look for those cocoons. They may be around here somewhere. If this is where the bodies are dropped when they're finished.
Yeah, so you don't see anything that looks like cocoons necessarily, at least at first glance inside of the cave. There's another pillar about maybe, let's say, 15 feet inside of this room. There's a pillar that juts all the way to the ceiling again. There are some natural cave formations here as well. You can see that there are some, gosh, I always do this wrong, the rocks that go up, stalactites, I think they are. And you can't see all the way to the back of the cave at this point. It is being blocked as it sort of begins to shape to the left. So you don't exactly know what's at the end of this room. All you know is that there are a bunch of bones on the ground.
Does it make a loud sound when we move on the bones?
Do you test that out?
I would like to very carefully, with my light Kenku feet, just test.
He has hollow bones, you know.
He does have hollow bones, but he is still carrying approximately 120 pounds of gear or something like that. The halberd itself, I think, is something like 50 pounds. Call, you gingerly step, you're testing the waters, so you're not necessarily trying to glide over the bones by any means. But yes, the bones do make sound, a crunch and snap as you walk on them. A sickening pop in some cases as joints are still held together by some sinew and flesh, but are separated as you move over them.
No way but forward. We haven't found the big one yet. Let's keep going.
Absolutely. Yeah, so same formation as before. Any other variances? I'll just periodically check in. I'm not trying to prompt you to make a change. I just want to make sure everything's still the same. Does that sound about good?
I think it's the best. Two people who have fire first, and then me without fire in the back so that I don't get singed.
Okay, does that sound good to everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Alrighty, excellent. Yeah, so Nigel and Call standing side by side with Mendax trailing behind, just slightly, not too far behind. But yeah, you guys begin to wade isn't exactly the right word, but walk isn't either. You do have to sort of push your way over and through these bones. There are, again, the same cacophony of crunches, almost as if you're wading through extra crispy potato chips. You make your way to about halfway through the room as you notice that the piles of bones on the left and right sides of you begin to move slightly.
Uh-oh. Have you seen bones move before, good wizard?
Not with my own eyes. Does it look like they're forming into shapes, or they're simply being rippled by other things?
Interesting question. It does look like a few bones are sort of almost magnetically being pulled out of the piles and are beginning to form together in what can only be described as a skeleton. Now, the skeletons that they're beginning to form are not all made proportionately or right. It's kind of just a smattering of bones to form a base humanoid shape. There are several skulls, several different types of bones all over. Even though you might not be a master of anatomy, you can tell that this is no creature. This is just being formed into an amalgamation of a humanoid. As you guys stand at the ready, these bones begin to, again, pull together fairly quickly as you guys are now surrounded by, we'll say it's about 5 skeletons. Skeleton monstrosities, we'll call that. And I think at this point, we will go ahead and call the session here and wait until next time to see how you guys fare against these bone constructions.
Whoa!
Holy shit!
I'm hanging on a cliff here, Dungeon Master!
It's a cliff!
I have to watch the next episode of Wayfarers that'll happen in 2 weeks.
Talk about a
2
boner
weeks.
killer, Apop. Talk about a
Oh
boner
my
killer. Seriously.
God.
You
The
did.
puns are never ending tonight. Yeah, I think that's about good. I know that we had to start a little bit later because of the whole daylight savings, and Pig and I don't believe in daylight savings, so we had to move a few things around. So yeah, I know we don't want to go too late for you guys. So I think that that's a pretty good end point for you guys.
Can we
We'll
just
go
give
ahead.
a special shout out to Mendax for really taking us to a special place today, I think. You know, I mean, it did start with an awkwardly muttered phrase about something to do with a box occupying my mind and my mouth. But, you know, it went from there. And it escalated very quickly and continued.
We got weird. We got weird.
I like how at some point I feel like there was a subconscious level of our DM's mind that got activated a little bit here because the word gash just would not stop.
Oh
popping
my
up.
god! Cash over and over.
I got to tell you, when
I'm
that
just a
spider
poor
bled out on
innocent
me,
goblin boy.
that was
Oh,
the
yeah,
first
and this-
time a moist gash got wet all over Nigel. 'Cause I
Moist
was like, what are
gash.
we describing, right?
Leaked onto Nigel.
Oh my goodness.
This was easily our most lewd episode yet.
Easily.
Viewers, don't
like-
worry. On the YouTube channels, there's a setting that says, is it safe for kids? It says no. All my videos
says
say no,
no.
so we're clear.
It says no. We're in the clear here. Oh, for God's sakes.
I like how I'd often miss one, and then I'd just see Mendax's muted mic button pop up,
Fucking
and her kind of
dying.
like having a seizure, and I'd replay it in my mind and go, "Oh yeah."
And then once I saw you laughing, it would send me off again. Like seeing somebody else get it would just, oh, goddamn, yeah. My face hurt
goodness.
so bad.
Oh my god.
Well done, team. It's been awesome having another episode for you, chat. You're great.
I hope you enjoyed the swimsuit episode.
Always killing it. Yes, this was the swimsuit episode of Wayfarers.
Oh.
GG all. 2 weeks from now, 9 p.m. Pacific time. We'll be back. Take care of yourselves, and always remember to peruse the finest meats in the meat shop. We'll see you on the
Mind
next
the
one.
gash.
Take care.
Thank you.
Oh.